Right, Towel friends over on the Towel YouTube, it is very good to see you. Let me just pause that and roll the intro. My name's Grant Smith Ellis. Good to see you today. It's, what is it, Tuesday? It's Monday, November 24th. It's Thanksgiving week. Let's do it.
Hold on. Wait a second. That's it.
That's it?
Yeah, that's the melody to Funky Town.
You heard the little towel. That's it. That's the melody to Funky Town. Hey, it's me. I'm a little towel. How you all doing? Everyone having a good day? Everyone enjoying their Monday of this Thanksgiving week? If you're an American towel. Suppose you don't have to be an American towel to celebrate Thanksgiving, but it does help. You know what I'm saying? It's so good to see you all. Hello, Peggy and Nancy and Barb. It is wonderful to see you on this wonderful Monday afternoon. Now, my name's Grant Smith Ellis. We have a lot of catching up to do. We haven't been able to actually get caught up on everything because every time I try to do a catch-up stream, being Saturday and Sunday, I just failed. I didn't fail miserably, but things just happened. All right? And you can't do a catch-up stream from November 12th, all of the things that happened between November 12th and November the 24th or 23rd or whatever it was when we tried to do it, when things just keep happening. All right? It becomes this Joycean recursive cyclical loop. And as much as I'd like to call myself Humphrey Chimpton Erwicker Towel, I am not. Okay? I am no James Joyce. I'm a towel. Hi, Peggy. It's so good to see you. Wonderful to see so many of you towel friends. We'll get things going. I'll say my hellos. And I did some tinkering and finagling with the stream. No 4K towel today. Towel computer hated that. Everything should be fixed, though, and it's looking pretty stable on my phone. I am pleased. All right, so what are we going to do? Well, we're going to do a few things. We are going to play trivia, but I can't just start playing trivia because I can give Bossy Texas Chicken Bella and Allie and Brew and all the other towel friends a chance to come in. And I was originally going to do the stream at 8 a.m. today, and then I was like, oh, I'm not feeling good. I had to go to the doctor. So we did it in the afternoon. I got a towel coffee. Very rarely do I have a towel coffee. But I was doing some studying earlier anyway for my upcoming final. So I said to myself, well, I'm awake. Let's do it. So what's going on? Well, there has been at least one development. I don't necessarily know if this is a development, but it was a very nice thing. So one of the Kate Peter people thought that this random account was me. It is not. And this random account, who I do not know, ironically named Random Brandon, said, in response to Kevin Linehan, who is like a little bit of a Kate Peter lackey, but whatever. Let Kevin do what he wants to do. It's not my business. But anyway, this random account says to Kevin, you wish you were half the man that Grant Smith Ellis is. His obsession is his strength and is what led him to uncover a conspiracy that he alone seen long before anyone else. You're jealous because he's younger and smarter than you, far, far smarter. So I don't know who Random Brandon is, I assure you. It is not me, but that is a very nice thing that they said. And I found it hilarious that Troll Homeo brought this to my attention, a comment I never would have seen and certainly didn't write if they didn't make a post saying that they thought it was me, which is even funnier. Hi, LS. It's great to see you, my dear friend. How are you doing this Monday afternoon? I'm hoping, listen, I am hoping that there's no major news that's going to drop, all right? We're hoping today is going to be an actual catch-up day. That's what I would really like. I cannot promise that's going to happen. Sometimes we're just sitting here and things just happen. As a reminder, there is a 2 p.m. Eastern hearing tomorrow in Kate Peters' felony witness intimidation cases at Dedham District Court. Thank you to Kyle Sharkey for the update on that. LS says, do you think their intention with the name was to be referred to as the random account? No, I don't think so. I think that was just a historical serendipitous coincidence, and it was kind of a funny pun that I was using in that moment. But in any event, hold on one sec, I want to cough. In any event, I want to focus a little bit on a number of things. The first thing I want to do is let's go back and, oh yes, there was a development today. Brian Tully accepted service in Karen Reed's lawsuit. We can take a look at this right here. We can zoom in on it. There it is. Brian Tully is represented by Timothy M. Burke. All right. We'll do some research on who Timothy M. Burke is, I suppose, in a second. See who else he has represented from Needham. And then, yes, that was the actual document. So let's take a look, actually. That's the first thing we'll start our day with. Brian Tully has counsel in the Karen Reed lawsuit. Who is attorney Timothy Burke Needham? Let's find out who attorney Burke has represented in the past. This isn't really what I wanted to find. Hold on, it's just a lot of information about his law office. How about some news about him? Okay. Some kind of IED claim. Bullying lawsuit. Wait, what? He used to be a prosecutor? Interesting. Huh. Wait, what? 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 Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Pause. Everybody pause. Please, this man's name is not in this article. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, sorry. The ads are a little annoying. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Who? It's Timothy Burke? That's Leah Genduso? Please tell me the name Timothy Burke is not in this article. We're doing live research, alright? Sometimes these things just happen. Anything about Timothy Burke in this article? Okay, nothing about Timothy Burke. Wait a minute. Oh, dear God. Who's Anderson? Who the hell is Anderson? Major Saholo. And then the other person was represented by Timothy Burke. Oh, he represents state cops, huh? But what did this person do? Anderson. Turtle Boy's reference in this article. That's hilarious. And she gifted up by the DEA. Okay, so that's not what I wanted an answer to. So he was at least in the orbit of Genduso. That's fascinating. So the commander of the Holden Barracks, the former commander of the Holden State Police Barracks, let me understand this, was represented when she retired. It doesn't exactly say what they did. Oh, yes, it does. Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. This lawyer is connected to Leah Genduso. Come on. Come on. This is ridiculous. Hi, Allie and Rue. Wait a minute. Somebody tell Lindsay. Lindsay! She's not here. I'm just yelling through the screen. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Come on. Alright, so let's put this together. Turtle Boy definitely knew this. So let me understand this. Brian Tully's for this Anderson woman who was involved in a situation with this lieutenant colonel in the arrest report of a judge's daughter. Ristine was the person who was involved in a romantic relationship with Leah Genduso when she became a state trooper, even though she had a drug conviction. Oh, and then Anderson's lawyer was Timothy Burke, who is now Brian Tully's lawyer. Oh my God. What is happening right now? What is happening right now? I declare a writ of shenanigans. Someone get my broom. This is outrageous. I just wanted to have a relaxing Monday. We didn't get through one thing. Oh, come on. Why me? I object. I vociferously object to my existence. There's a certain point where you should be upset. You should have incredulity. You should feel that it's an injustice, but you're just so overwhelmed with the ludicrous nature of it all that you're just like, oh, fuck it. If be the lawyer for the trooper who knew the colonel who was dating Leah Genduso, why wouldn't he be? Oh, God bless America. Yeah, that was a hell of a spar last night with Lindsey and JFK, I'll say that. But that's not related to this. Well, it is related because Leah Bathtub Genduso is being talked about. But it's not related to this. My word, do you all understand the implications of this? Why does it always fall to me? I'm just a little towel. Just a little towel. It is unbelievable, Allie. I'm glad someone... I did not expect to find this. It's not fair. I was just a fucking Genduso. God damn bathtub. God damn it. Damn it. These motherfuckers. Alright, let's do a clip. Let's just do a clip of how fucking outrageous this is. Out fucking rageous. I'm doing a clip. Nobody can do anything about it. Hold on, let me just do this 1 second. This is every day. Every day it's something. It never stops. I literally keep saying to myself, I didn't even do the research before this stream because I was like, I'll just look the guy up when we're on stream and then we'll play some trivia to let people kind of join the stream. No rest for the weary. I'll tell you what right now. No rest for the weary. All right, let's do it. I'm doing a clip. Give it a second. Hello. My name's Grant Smith Ellis. Now, you may be saying to yourself, oh, are you that towel that likes to convey news? Yes, and are you also saying to yourself, did Brian Tully just announce that he has accepted service of process in Karen Reed's major 7-count civil lawsuit out of Bristol Superior Court, which is actually going over to Plymouth Superior Court to be combined with the O'Keefe family lawsuit against Karen? And Karen's lawsuit, of course, is against Michael Proctor, Uri Buchanan, Brian Tully, 3 members of the state police unit that investigated Karen and Aiden. And, by the way, Brian Tully also released Lindsey Gaetani's unredacted phone extraction in April of 2024 after only removing messages from Tully to Kate Peter and from Tully to Lindsey and from Kate Peter to Lindsey before doing so. In any event, oh, by the way, you know what else was removed? Oh! You know what else was removed from Lindsey's phone extraction, apparently? An audio recording of Leah Genduso talking to Lindsey Gaetani. Now, you might be saying, why is that relevant, Grant? Well, Tully accepted service of process, and his lawyer is a man by the name of Timothy Burke. Now, I'm a little towel, and I was thinking to myself, you know what I would like to do? I would like to find out more about Mr. Timothy Burke, the attorney from Needham. So, I just went to this article here, and I found this really interesting article from 2018 written by Andrea Estes and Shelley Murphy from the Boston Globe. And it says, 2 high-ranking officials at the Massachusetts State Police retire. And wouldn't you look at it? The article reads, 2 high-ranking state police officials retired suddenly Friday, February 23rd, 2018, it appears, in the latest fallout from the controversy over how police handled the October arrest of a judge's daughter. One of the officials, remember this name, Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Reestein, the third in command at the agency, is also linked to a separate ongoing controversy at the agency involving Leah Genduso. Reestein, and now this part also, this is where it all ties together, and Major Susan Anderson, the commander of the Holden Barracks, wouldn't you know, who used to live in Holden, who maybe still does, retired with general discharges, State Police spokesman David Procopio announced late Friday. Procopio said the departures were part of a command staff restructuring. Ristine and Anderson were both accused last fall of taking part in the decision to order a trooper to remove embarrassing information from the arrest report of a judge's daughter. Ladies and gentlemen, and look who they were connected. In November, Superintendent Richard McKeon and his deputy Francis Hughes both retired following Globe stories on the altered arrest report. Ristine, the guy who was involved with Anderson in altering the report as well, has been identified by multiple sources as a former boyfriend of a trooper who is the subject of a separate internal affairs investigation into how she was hired. That trooper, Leah, we'll call her Bathtub Genduso, testified in federal court in 2007 that she sold marijuana and laundered money. And then she was hired as a dispatcher the following year and became a trooper in 2014. She was suspended without pay on this same day, so could not be reached for comment. Now, look down here. On Friday, Anderson's attorney, the woman who was involved with Ristine in altering the report, Ristine, who was in some kind of relationship with Leah Genduso and helped her get hired, apparently, despite the fact that she had this felony federal conviction, Anderson's attorney, Timothy Burke of Needham. Oh, my word, little towels. There it is. Brian Tully's attorney for the Karen Reed civil suit is the same guy who was the attorney for this woman Anderson that was involved in leaking altering a arrest report about a judge's daughter, and another trooper involved in that who resigned on the same day was Ristine, who was the guy that was in the relationship with Genduso. Oh my word. Now we got to find out who her attorney was as we do this live. Leah Genduso, attorney, State Police. Let's find out who she got as an attorney. If it's this guy, Did she ever actually announce who her attorney was? Let's see if it was, what's this guy? Timothy Burke? If this were another connection, I'd absolutely lose my mind. All right, doesn't look like he was her attorney. But the point is, the fact that he was an attorney for one of the troopers, or one of the high-ranking state police officers, Anderson, who was involved in the same incident with the guy Ristine, editing the report about the judge's daughter, and Ristine was in a romantic relationship with Genduso, and she got fired because she had a federal conviction, and then he had to retire because of it. It's not 6 degrees of separation. This is all connected. I was right. It's all connected. It goes right to the top of the state police. They've been there forever. They got lawyers around them. They got institutional power. They got control. Oh, this is incredible. Somebody's got to tell the Boston Globe. Somebody's got to tell Shelley Murphy. Listen, this all fits together. Everything I just laid out perfectly explains this web of connections. These people protect their own. And this lawyer ties Tully and Jen together, and that's just one part of the web. You got Marty Kraft's PI firm, Kate Peter, the well-connected witnesses in the Reed and O'Keefe case. Oh my word, unfolding before our very eyes, ladies and gentlemen, is a conflagration of the highest order. Listen, whatever it lies beneath related to Tully, oh my word, Timothy Burke, this guy must be a fixer for the state police. When their own are going down, he's the guy they assign. I also think George Papadopoulos, or whatever, the George Papachristos, the one that they tried to assign to Lindsey, I think he was also a handler, but this guy's got to be the big-time, prime-time player. Whoa! Tully's going to get fired. Oh my word! Or he's going to retire. This is incredible. I knew it. I knew it! I knew it! My name's Grant Spitell. There you go! Leah Genduso, Brian Tully, linked by this guy, Timothy Burke, through this woman Anderson, who was involved with the guy Reeson, who Genduso was romantically linked with, and Reeson and Anderson edited a report about a judge's daughter, and it took down half the command structure of the state police in 2018, and that was exactly when Genduso got exposed for what she was doing. Oh my word. By Turtle Boy, who's also referenced in this article. Mind blown. That's it. Mind blown. My name's Grant Smith Ellis. I'm going to end this clip now and go back to the towel, friends. Quite a day. All right, towel friends, thank you for letting me clip. Can you believe we found that? I know a lot of you who tuned in the middle of that are going to be like, what the hell's going on? We're going to have a relaxing day. Allie and Rue are here. We were going to play some trivia. Nancy's here. Yeah, I would agree. Nancy. We were going to play trivia, and then all of a sudden, I'm just researching Leah Genduso to see if she had any connection to this. Not Leah Genduso. I'm researching Brian Tully's new lawyer to see if she had any connection to Leah Genduso. Hold on. I'm not going to post my clip yet because I may have something else. Found a story from Mass Live. Hold on. Their chin. Alright, overtime. Oh, he was involved in the overtime scandal? No, he was not. Dude. This is incredible. No, he wasn't. What's his name again? Let's try that again. Burke. Oh my God, he was the lawyer for John Giulino and David Keefe. This is the dude who represents state cops when they get federally charged. Oh my God. Oh my God. He was involved in the overtime theft scandal too. Oh my word. He represents state cops that get caught doing bad things. He does federal criminal defense. All right, we got to re-record that clip. I'm sorry. This is too big of a deal. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God, he's fucked. Oh my God, he's fucked. I can't believe this. Guy's a federal criminal defense attorney. All right, we got to record another clip. Hello. My name is Grant Smith Ellis. It's Monday, November 24th, 2025. And there was a development on the Karen Reed major civil case that she filed against Michael Proctor, Yuri Buchanan, Brian Tully, the Alberts, McCabe's, Brian Higgins, and otherwise in Bristol Superior Court. That had to do with Brian Tully accepting service. And you can see here, Brian Tully accepted service, and his attorney is a man by the name of Timothy Burke. And you may be saying to yourself, Tully, you sound a little exasperated, even though you were just going to have a relaxing day playing trivia. What happened? Well, attorney Timothy Burke has two connections to this series of conflagrations, the Karen Reed and the Turtle Boy case, that are fascinating. Brian Tully, of course, was the primary investigator involved in looking into Karen Reed and Aidan Kearney, and Brian Tully also leaked Lindsey Gaetani's unredacted phone extraction with, importantly, three things at least missing. One, messages from Tully to Lindsey. Two, messages from Kate Peter to Lindsey. And three, a recording by a former state trooper named Leah Genduso. Now, you may be saying to yourself, oh God, Grant, have you found out that Leah Genduso has some connection to this attorney who Brian Tully retained? By the way, an attorney, Timothy Burke, who also was the federal criminal defense attorney for the troopers involved in the Troop F overtime scandal. Okay? Folks, yes, there is a connection. Take a look at this. Is that Leah Genduso in a Globe article from February 23rd, 2018, in an article specifically about Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Ristine and another woman, Major Susan Anderson, the commander of the Holden Barracks? Holden, where Aidan Kearney lived or still lives. Who both retired because both of them, along with another two high-ranking members of the state police, Richard McKeon and Francis Hughes, were involved in editing a police report about the arrest of a judge's daughter. Folks, Now, you might be saying to yourself, Anderson and Ristine were both involved and had to retire on the same day. Was Ristine the person, high-ranking, third-in-command state police commander, whatever, who was involved in a romantic relationship with Leah Genduso, who has ties to Kate Peter and all these other people involved with the Reed and Kearney investigations? Yes, Ristine was involved with Genduso, despite the fact that right before she got hired and eventually became a trooper after being a dispatcher, she was involved in a federal case where she packaged marijuana, moved pounds of it, and laundered money, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll tell you, it is no coincidence, perhaps, then, that Anderson's attorney, so the person who was working with Ristine related to the edited report about the judge's daughter, was Timothy Burke of Needham, the same person retained by Brian Tully for Karen Reed's civil case. You might be saying, oh, okay, I mean, that's a pretty big deal. You know why it becomes a bigger deal? Burke was also the lawyer for two of the troopers, John Guilino and David Keefe, who were involved in the Troop F overtime scandal, which led to federal charges. Folks, Brian Tully, potentially, because of the wording of a motion from the Norfolk DA in the Brian Walsh case recently, could potentially be under IA investigation. But retaining this lawyer specifically in Reed's civil case, this lawyer who looks like the most powerful fixer possible for the state police, the person who comes in when high-ranking state police officers do bad things, is now representing Brian Tully. I'm ending this clip again. We had to redo the clip because I found this second article. My name's Grant Smith Ellis. I'm going back to the stream now. Thanks. Folks, that's incredible. That's absolutely incredible. Troy, did you see what we just discovered? You came in right in time. Not only are we going to get to play some trivia, but we just found a major connection involving Brian Tully and Leah Genduso. Just simply mind-blowing. Those of you who are following along will know the implications of it. Those of you who came in during the middle of the research will know I literally just wanted to know who Tully's new lawyer was. Of course, he's like the biggest fixer possible for the state police. Of course, he's tied to Leah Genduso. Just of course. Just mind-blowing. Incredible. I'm posting this right now. I'm going to type this up with you. Oh, what's this? Brian Tully's new lawyer in the Karen Reed civil case against the Canton aristocracy is Tim Burke. And Tim Burke was a lawyer involved and Tim Burke represented one of the trooper who has a connection to Leah Bathtub Genduso, and Burke represented the Troop F overtime scandal defendants in federal court. Yeah, ball game, ladies and gentlemen. You just watched us put it together. He's screwed. I'm telling you. I'm telling you right now. Tully's screwed. You don't get that kind of lawyer because of a civil case. Incredible. I'm honored that we got to see it together. I cannot believe that all. Of course, the people involved in all this are going to put it together right away. The document came out like an hour ago, though. You know what I'm saying? They can only write it up so fast, but everybody's going to figure this out. Shelley Murphy wrote the damn article about Leah Genduso. That's kind of funny. Shelley Murphy's everywhere. And Tim Burke represented a trooper who has a connection to Leah Bathtub Genduso, and Burke represented the Troop F overtime scandal. Hold on, it should technically be Troop F. I don't think Troop F even exists anymore. Yeah, this is just incredible. I can't believe we found that live. That's the benefit of doing... Yeah, no, we just... Troy, it's not any lawyer. This is like the fixer for the high-ranking state police officers that do bad things and are going down. Like, he's not just a run-of-the-mill, everyday litigator. He's a big-time lawyer, and even has a connection to Leah Genduso. Listen, this is incredible. This, like, these, you normally see this when, like, it's the start of a very long series of events, like potential federal charges. I don't know, but that's just wild. I mean, I composed myself, but I was not expecting to find that. I just wanted to talk about the document. That's incredible, though. Really incredible. Incredible to find in real time. Incredible to see it unfold. It's going to take a second for people to put that all together. I know Turtle Boy keeps track of a lot of this stuff, but I'm very interested to see how he's going to respond to this, because Turtle Boy's got to remember, hopefully, that Tim Burke was the attorney for Anderson, who knew Reeson, who was with Genduso. If he can put all that together, I think he'll see what's going on here. But I also don't know what the hell's going on with him and what he thinks about Genduso. So, but anyway, this is big. It's a big deal. It's a big deal for a lot of reasons. You don't get that kind of representation because of a civil suit. You get that kind of representation because you're worried, in my opinion. And you all just saw it play out live. Now, what were we going to do? We were going to do a recap of the past few days, and it turned into this. Now, if you want to play some trivia, I know Allie and Rue are here. We'll give Bossy Tex and Chick and Bella about 20 minutes. We'll play trivia at about 3:30 or so. The first thing we're going to do, however, is we're going to scroll back and watch some, talk about the developments of the past couple weeks. Now, first of all, you want to see the Lindsey and, Lindsey and JFK exchange? It was kind of funny. I'll play it. I thought, Lindsey, that was a good clap back by Lindsey. Let me see if I can find the video. No promises. I thought I put it up earlier. Oh, I did. I think I reacted to it, which makes it even funnier. Let me bring it up for you. Hold on. You can watch me as I scroll. Oh, I did react to it. That's so funny.
Like that.
Hold on. It was like 4 a.m. or something, too, when I woke up. I was like, what the hell is going on here? So we're going to watch this because I saw a few of you talking about it. And now, listen, it's not necessarily 100% funny. There was some things on JFK's show back in the day involving, people bring up people's kids. Just not, it was weird. But anyway, this exchange is kind of funny. Content warning, they both kind of go at each other. JFK pretends to not be able to hear Lindsey. And then Lindsey on Turtle Boy's live is just going at JFK. And Turtle Boy's like, I'm not getting involved in this. I don't really know how to explain it. It was a strange series of events. But we're going to watch it together right now. Let me make it full screen. 1 second. No promises that this is going to work. Hold on. All right, here you go.
Bullshit like that. You're talking about this. You're on Adderall, bro. That's a legal prescription, right?
Okay, so I'm about to do something crazy right now. So let me run this by you. So I see this is fucking crazy that this is happening right now. Okay.
What?
Do you see who has requested to speak?
No.
Look.
What? Nurse Kim?
No, look. Can you see who has requested? Are they not at the top?
At the top, I see me, you, and Nurse Kim. I don't know how.
Nurse Kim is not requested to speak. She's a listener.
All right, so who's requested? Just tell me.
Okay, so apparently the person that you were just talking about, and this is fucking weird. I don't know how I feel about this, but apparently they want to talk because you're on and she wants to talk to you. And so I'm not really going to talk to her because I don't think it's appropriate at this time.
All right, good. So
I'm going to add her on right now.
Good.
Fuck it. Let's get crazy.
Hello?
All right, gotta unmute yourself there.
Oh, hey, James. I heard you wanted to say something about me.
Oh, goddamn. Lindsey? Let's
Lindsey.
get crazy. Come on, man. We know what's been going on.
Let's do it.
Let's get crazy.
Let's get crazy. Let's do it.
Lindsey? All right, good.
What do you want to say, James? Go ahead.
Because it's going to get real crazy after this. Go ahead.
Go ahead, kid. Go. You wanted to bring my name up. Go ahead. Balls in your court. Go ahead.
TV.
You go first.
Tell your girl to speak up.
You can't hear? You can't hear me? You wanted to bring my name up. Go ahead. I'm here. You got me. I'm all ears. Go ahead.
All right, TV.
What do you have to say,
night,
James?
Man. You're not doing anything.
What's the matter?
Nobody's requesting.
What's the matter, James? You scared?
Can you hear, James? Can you hear?
I can't.
Can you not
hear
hear me,
you, but I
James?
can't hear anybody.
Oh, you can't hear. Oh, you really can't hear.
No, I can only hear you, TB.
Oh.
Bullshit.
You really can't hear?
I can't
He can
hear
hear
you.
perfectly.
All right. So
What a fucking
being-
pussy.
you're
What a
being
pussy James
okay.
Jackson
I'm
is.
being
I
what?
always knew. Everybody thought you were a woman. You look like one. You fucking talk like one. You finally got me where you want me. Now you have nothing to say. You can't hear me. Bullshit.
James, you really can't hear?
No, TB, I swear on everything, I can't hear, man.
Oh.
She can
Let's
hear
get
you.
this kid a hearing aid. Can we give him some of that donations for a hearing aid to this kid?
Who is it?
All right. I gave it a shot. So I got to end that.
So
now
just go ahead, say who it was. I don't care. I really don't at this point.
You know who it
I
was.
don't.
Now he forgets.
Well, it was Lindsey Gaetani.
Yeah, I seen her listen. What'd she say?
She wants to know what your problem is.
With what?
Her?
I have no problem with Lindsay. Lindsay reached out to me early on in this case, TB. And you know what? Lindsay, you know this is true. I never answered you back because you were talking about your kids and all that stuff that happened at Jen McCabe's house. And I don't want it. That's not my
No,
business.
actually, James,
So
I
if
sent
you're
you a
listening,
message and I
can't
just
hear
said
you talking.
you went on your show
But,
and I sent you one sentence. So actually, I'll
you know
post the
that's a
email.
fact.
I'll post the email
And
on my
TB,
Twitter that I
was
sent
none
you.
of my business,
It was
but
one
what I'm gonna
sentence
say is,
that just
why-
said, "Hey, you were
what's that
talking
got
about
to
me
do
on
with
your
anything?
show.
You're talking
Can
about-
you write me back?" And that's
couldn't
all
hear
I
what she
said. So why are
Can
you making
read-
the
can you
flies,
say
you
what she
fucking
said?
heroin? Is the
Okay,
joke still that
okay.
good, James? Is
What
the
she
joke
said?
still that good? Because I remember it was good back in the
She's
day.
like, yeah,
But obviously,
she's-
it's still that fucking
Yeah.
good because you're still fucking doing it. You.
Oh, goodness. So, that was intense. Now, if you're wondering, did Lindsay immediately post the email where James responded to her JFK? Yes. Yes, she did. Because she's a Lindsay. All right. So that was one thing that happened. The other thing is the Patriots won yesterday. That was a great game. I watched all that. I had a fun time. Commented on some of it. Now, let's see. What exactly do I want to get us caught up on? Let's scroll back a little bit. We will play trivia in 5 minutes. All right. I know a lot of you like to just kind of use that as a way to relax. I know Allie and Rue are just hanging around waiting to jump in and steal points. However, there's some things I want to talk about. So, what things in particular? Where can we start? I can't believe that this has only been like a few days. It's absolutely just incredible, the ferocious pace of events in recent days. So it's going to take me a second to even scroll us back to when I want to start talking about, which was about, 10 days ago. Now, if you're wondering, Towel, do you really post that much? Well, it's not just me. It's the pace of events, okay? I post things because things happen. So if things happen, I post them. For example, I posted a hilarious letter where I asked an AI to assume the speaking style of a 20th century British diplomat and compare Lindsay and Kate. It was the funniest thing I've ever read in my entire life. You don't understand. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes those are just the kind of things you got to do. Living the dream, I don't agree with you at all. I think Kate Peter needs a lot of help because the Norfolk DA is not going to run for re-election and Adam Deutsch is going to win, and that's going to remove the layers of protection that were available to people in the orbit of Brian Tully, and that's why he probably retained this guy, attorney Tim Burke, who apparently is a big-time fixer for state police officers who get in trouble and actually had a connection, although it's slightly removed, to Leah Genduso by way of Burke representing a woman named Anderson who was partners with worked with a guy named Reeson to manipulate a police report about a judge, and Reeson was in a romantic relationship while he was the third in command at the state police with Leah Genduso, who after in 2007 got a felony federal conviction for like trafficking, basically like wrapping pounds of weed and money laundering, got hired as a dispatcher in 2008, had a romantic relationship with this guy, somehow became a trooper without disclosing that in 2014, and then was forced to resign when all of this shit went to hell in a handbasket related to the judge's daughter's arrest report being manipulated. Tim Burke was also the attorney for some of the troopers involved in the Troop F overtime scandal in federal court. That makes me think that Brian Tully is not worried about civil liability from Karen Reed. Brian Tully is worried about his career going down the drain and potentially catching federal charges. Why else would you retain Tim Burke? Now, I'm not saying Tim Burke doesn't also do employment stuff. I think he does, but come on. Like, some of those cases Burke was involved with, just outrageous high-level people. Brian Tully was pretty high level as the commander of the CPAC unit at the Norfolk DA's office, but it's not how high level. was Brian Tully. It's what does Brian Tully know? I've noticed there's a pattern with the state police. I want to talk about this for a little bit. Oh my goodness, it's bossy Texas chicken Bella. Hi Bella, I'm a little towel. How you doing? Bella's like, oh my goodness, the TV's talking to me again. I want to talk a little bit about the state police. Here's what I've noticed they do. First of all, most of the state police are good people, in my opinion. They're just out there protecting the roads, trying to help people, doing big investigations. The state police as a whole are not rotted to their core. The problem is, like any paramilitary unit, kind of like Frank Sturgis's or Frank Fiorini's Interpen unit that was involved with training in the north of Lake Pontchartrain in 61 and 62, you kind of get these like rogue elements that can come into positions of power or be useful to people in positions of power. And I've noticed what the state police tend to do is they protect their own, but also they let them eventually go down. But when they let them go down, they make sure it's managed so that the person going down doesn't reveal too much. Here's why I think there's some wild cards in this. One, Matthew Farwell's a huge wild card because Farwell's already in federal prison. They can't run that game on him. If Farwell's biggest thing he can give up to the feds is Tully's unit for helping the cover-up of Sandra Birchmore's murder before the feds stumbled onto it or found out about it, then you have a situation where Tully's unit needs to go down, okay? And the state police they can't manage Farwell. Who's Farwell going to give up? Tully's unit. Okay, they have to manage how Tully's unit goes down. Tim Burke seems to be the guy that's doing that. That's where my brain's going on all this. And I want to talk a little bit about why I think the state police are not beyond salvation. A lot of people are so quick to say this whole thing is broken, everything's broken. No, what we have here is a system where state police officers get detailed to, or we'll use the word detailed, but they get assigned to special units embedded within DA's offices in the Commonwealth. Now, these embedded units are often there longer than the DAs. The DAs are elected. Now, some DAs stay where they are for a long time, but these embedded units absolutely 100% end up in their positions of power for longer than the DAs. What does that mean? That means the paramilitary state police are in essence running the DA's offices. Because who do you think really has the institutional connections? The DAs bring in the money and determine how the budget's going to get spent and who's going to be the prosecutors and what cases are going to get charged. But who do you think really knows the clerks? Who do you think really knows like the PO, the probation officers, the judges, like everybody? It's that state police unit in charge of that county. That's where it broke down. Okay, it was this whole thing kind of narrows into that. Okay, because if you have too much discretion at a central fail point, they'll think that they're not answerable to anyone because the DA is supposed to be the check and balance. If the state police hierarchy is either going along with it or for whatever reason doesn't know about it or whatever, then these bad units are going to get a lot of power, and then if they get close to the wrong people, they're going to cause a lot of harm. There's no doubt in my mind that the single decision that caused all of this to happen, more so than anything else, was the release of Lindsey Gaetani's phone extraction. If Brian Tully, it was so much inside baseball. It had no investigatory purpose. It had absolutely no honor behind it. There was no reason for it. It was just brutal. It was some of the most brutal politicking I have ever seen, and it was outside the rules. Okay, there's a gentleman's agreement in politics. Some shit is outside the rules. That was outside the fucking rules. All right? And that was the inflection point that caused all of this to come crumbling down, because these people would have gotten away with all of it if it weren't for that. Because that exposed so much inside baseball. It exposed stuff being removed, manipulation of evidence, Kate Peter talking to Tully, and the Norfolk DA talking to Kate Peter and Tully, and Jen McCabe's connection to all of this. It was so much inside baseball that it brought the whole thing down, because it led certain people to just keep saying over and over and over again, this is not just a breakdown of how these units are interplaying with the prosecutorial apparatus. It is a breakdown on a moral level, on a procedural due process level, on a fundamental level of respect for victims in the process. And once you got those discussions going, it's over. It doesn't have to be one specific issue. Mark my words, that phone extraction being leaked will be the issue that defines why this unit fell. Other stuff's going to be in the orbit of it. Sandra Birchmore's murder and the cover-up thereof, the exculpatory or otherwise impeachment evidence that was withheld on Michael Proctor's phone, why Proctor withheld that despite the fact that clearly the feds had it the whole time, where that's all going, all right? That reflects the kind of fundamental moral rot that is not just an issue of maxims. It's not just a normative question of can we do better. It's this system broke down and it isolated itself like Principal Skinner's Aurora Borealis in the middle of Norfolk County. And the problem was people couldn't see the forest through the trees because there was so much polemical hatred on both sides of the Karen Reed and John O'Keefe case. Every single person was missing. The real toxicity was the wheeling and dealing that Kate Peter and these people in the orbit of Brian Tully and Marty Kraft's PI firm and all of them were doing. They were wheeling and dealing. They were playing loose and fast with the justice system, and they thought they were unaccountable. We got to fix that. That's where we start. All right, that's going to be the domino that tips it all. But the reality is this spidered out everywhere. It impacted people like Ida Lee and obviously Sandra Birchmore's friends, and it led to this absolutely almost historic battle that I don't think the history books have even told yet, between the Norfolk DA on one side with all these people, and maybe the people who were around him using his name to do certain things, I don't know, on one side, and then on the other side, the federal government. The very federal government, represented by Adam Deutsch now, in my opinion, that group who was in charge under Levy and Rollins, now running for Norfolk DA, and they're going to win. That's why people are so apocalyptic. That's why they're acting like things are crashing down. Because it's not just the exposure of these networks and their behavior and their conduct. It's that their narrative is collapsing. Okay? And where things are going from here, listen, I don't know. Okay? I really don't know. But I can't imagine it's going to be pretty. So my name is Grant Smith Ellis. And I really agree. I thought that Lindsey's comments to JFK were really, really good. Sometimes you just got to tell it like it is, little towels. All right. We'll play trivia in like 5 minutes. All right, Boss. Oh, you know what? Bossy Texas Chicken Bella are here, and I just went on a rant. Let's play trivia. We'll reward them for that. All right, let's do it. Now, if you don't remember, you want me to show you the scores from yesterday? You know who's wearing the crown, folks. It was a great battle yesterday. If you didn't watch that battle, it went right down to the very end. Oh, that's a mix of 2 days. Hold on. That was the day before, too. Let me show you just yesterday. That is just yesterday, okay? Great job to Nancy and Bunny Towel wearing the crown. Troy, you going to play some trivia with us today? You gotta try it on for size. It's fun. We're going to do a few rounds. Let's see how I'm feeling. Then maybe I'll play a video after that. But remember, tomorrow is Kate Peters' felony hearing. I don't think I'm going to be able to cover it. But I'll do a live stream in the morning maybe, and we'll talk about it. I'm trying to stream a little bit during the holiday week. We'll call it 7 days of 7 days of turkeys and towel. How about that? All right. Can't stream every day, I think. I have some things to do. But anyway, 7 days of turkeys and towels. All right. Let's play trivia. There's your scores from yesterday. Nancy and Bunny wearing the crown, 16 points apiece. Towel at number 2 with 14 points. Allie and Rue rounded out the top 3 with 8 points. Great job, Allie and Rue. Very close to the top 3 was Bossy Texas Chicken Bella with 4 points, serendipitously enough, in 4th place. Shannon coming in with 3.5 points in 5th. Mr. Cossey G in 6th with 3. Jay in 6th with 3 as well. Nunya in 7th with 1.5. And Brian in the position of honor 8th with 0.5 point. So that was yesterday's scores. Congratulations to those of you who placed on the podium, and congratulations to our reigning champions, Nancy and Bunny, who will take the crown today. Feel free to play. It's very, relaxed today, although I just obviously put that ridiculous connection together. It is a relaxed day. Trying not to overdo it. I realize I don't relax a lot, so barring some breaking news or someone running into the comments telling me we've invaded Venezuela, we're hopefully just going to play trivia and then watch one video and take it home. But you never know. During trivia, sometimes I want to learn things. So I'll just be like, hey, we should learn things right now. You know what I'm saying? Yesterday, what did we learn about? We learned about the fall of Constantinople. Maybe that was 2 days ago. And then, yes, Bossy Texas Chicken Bella are here. Wow, I never heard Lindsey talk before. She's a real scrapper, quite frankly. Here's what it is, Bossy Texas Chick. I'm a little towel. All right, let's bring up this. All right, here we go. Let's play. Ready to play. We're going to start with the daily challenge. If you've never played trivia before, let me give you the rules of trivia. Question goes up at the screen. There's going to be 4 possible answers. You select 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, or 4 in chat. Oh, I understand, Troy. Don't worry about it. It's a good learning opportunity for the rest of us. But you select 1, 2, 3, or 4 in chat. If you get it right first and I get it right, we each get a point. Everyone else gets half a point if they get it right after that. If I get it wrong and you get it right first, 2 points. Point for everyone else who gets it right after that. One of the rounds, maybe 2, will be a double bonus round. It's a category I know a lot about. If I get a question in that round wrong and you get it right first, 4 points. I think Bunny got one right the other day about what weapon was invented for the first time in the siege of Constantinople in 1453 or 58. She knew it was a cannon. She's a genius, Bunny. Also, if you get it right and I get it wrong in a double bonus round after the first person, you get 2 points. However, in double bonus rounds, if I get it right, all scoring is the same. You still only get a point if you get it right first, half a point if you get it right after that. So it's kind of fun. It's a good learning opportunity. Jump right in. Just answer the questions. The points don't really matter. We just compete for the crown, and you can join at any time. One time someone got 16 points in one round. I was a little baffled by that. That was a very impressive round, let me tell you that right now. All right, let's start with the daily challenge. This is a hodgepodge category. We don't get to select it. They just give us questions. You answer them. Remember, you're going to select number 1, 2, 3, or 4 on the board, and we'll see if you can take the crown. All right, 3, 2, 1. First question of the day. What mother-daughter duo was featured in HBO's biographical movie Bright Lights? Debbie Reynolds and Carrie Fisher, Meryl Streep and Mimi Gummer, Judy Garland and Liza Minnelli, Goldie Hawn and Kate Hudson. I've seen the movie City Lights. I don't know what Bright Lights is. So, show me Carrie Fisher. I got it right. I was just like, Carrie Fisher sounds like a good name. I got it right, Little Towels. So the answer is number 1. So if you got number 1, you have the potential to get a point. Now, I got a point because it was number 1. I also have to wait like 20 seconds because, it takes a little time. Oh, good guess, Nancy. I almost went with Goldie Hawn, but I was just like, I'll go with Debbie Reynolds and Carrie Fisher. Good guess by Bossy Texas Chicken Bella. It was not Judy Garland and Liza Minnelli. Oh, no, I bet we lost Allie and Rue because I was ranting for so long, but maybe they'll hear the call of the trivia. Excellent guesses, though, both of you. Excellent guesses. We will go to the next question. Both of you are going to be able to pick up a lot of points this early because apparently we lost Allie and Rue. She plays tactically. On which peninsula in Balaclava, where the futile charge of the Light Brigade took place in 1854? On which peninsula is Balaclava, where the futile charge of the Light Brigade took place in 1854? Crimea, or the Crimean Peninsula, the Iberian Peninsula, the Arabian Peninsula, or the Scandinavian Peninsula? Kind of feels like this is probably the Crimean Peninsula. I got it right. Tough questions this round, though. Definitely not leading us off in our warm-up round with easy questions. But yes, very topical. It is the Crimean Peninsula. Bossy Texas Chick on the board. Excellent job, my dear friend. Full point. Nancy coming in with a full point as well as we do our warm-up round. We're also trying to hearken Allie and Rue back to the game, although they are tactical players. Let's continue. Which MLB team didn't play a home night game until 1988 when lights were finally installed at their ballpark? Was it the Red Sox, the Phillies, the Cubs, or the Yankees? Which team didn't play a home night game until 1988 when lights were finally installed at their ballpark? I know the answer to this. It's because the neighbors didn't really like it. I'm pretty sure it's the Cubbies. Got it. Towel's just doing well in the warm-up round. If you missed it, we're playing some towel trivia on our catch-up day. Don't really have a ton else to go through after this, but Bossy Texas Chicken Bella knew it was the Chicago Cubs. Excellent job. Nancy had to memorize the poem. I love it, Nancy. That is a very good way to get going. All right. Excellent answers there in our warm-up round. Next question. What group of elements on the periodic table share a name with a type of light bulb? Metalloids, transition metals, noble gases, or halogen? What group of elements on the periodic table share a name with a type of light bulb? Is it metalloids, transition metals, noble gases, or halogen? Oh, I think I know where I'm going with on this one. It's halogen. Obviously. We're learning. Excellent job. Towel gets a full point. It's going to be a three-way competition, at least for the first round. Feel kind of bad. You did, Nancy. You absolutely got that last one. Good guess on that one, Bossy Texas Chicken Bella. Picking up a full point. Oh, good guess, Nancy. I feel like noble gases are probably the most well-known of the elements. We always learn the most random things in this hodgepodge category. Next question. What military lights out tune was sampled in the intro to Neil Young's 2000 song Let's Impeach the President? The Last Post, Taps, The Star Spangled Banner, or Reville? What military lights out tune, oh, I know the answer, was sampled in the intro to Neil Young's 2006 song Let's Impeach the President? The key there is you have to know what they play on military bases at the end of the day, and it's Taps. 5. That's funny, Bossy Texas Chick. It was like a light bulb going off in your head. Excellent. Nancy nailed it. Full point. Bossy Texas Chick. Good guess. Good guess, Bossy Texas Chick. It does sound like it would be what they play at the end of the day, but it was indeed Taps. All right. This is just our warm-up round. Which rock duo's 2007 Canadian tour was captured on the big screen in the film Under Great White Northern Lights? The Black Keys, the Arctic Monkeys, the White Stripes, or Royal Blood? Which rock duo's 2007 Canadian tour was captured on the big screen in the film Under Great White Northern Lights? Well, I know the answer to this, I think, because Jack White is in the White Stripes. It's the White Stripes. Wow, I went 6 for 6. I cleaned up that category, ladies and gentlemen. We're having a slow day, so it's only me, Bossy Texas Chicken Nancy, but I cleaned up. Did anyone know it was the White Stripes? Nope, not the Black Keys. Good guess, though, Bossy Texas Chicken Bella. It was indeed, number 3, the White Stripes. Excellent job, Nancy. Picking up a full point. All right, so here we go. Good warm-up round. I guess I don't have to show the scores, but join in at any time. There's not really a lot going on today, so. There's our scores for today. Towels got 6. Bossy Texas Chicken, Nancy's in second place with 4.5, and Bossy Texas Chicken Bella have 3. All right, let's play one more round, see if Allie comes back. It's all right. If not, hey, you can pretty easily win the crown unless I keep getting all the questions right today. All right. Let's see. Nancy, what category would you like to do? You are in second place. Let's do a category that us three will learn about. It's how I like to relax anyway. If Nancy doesn't have a suggestion, Bossy Texas Chick can, of course, throw one in, but Nancy's technically leading because towel counts, but his points don't. We're also trying to coax Allie and Rue back into the game. Medicine. All right, good category, Nancy. I like it. Medicine. All right, here we go. What element forms the basis for most living organisms? That's not really medicine. What element forms the basis for most living organisms? Is it oxygen, carbon, nitrogen, or hydrogen? Oxygen, carbon, nitrogen, or hydrogen? Famous capitals. We can do that next, Bossy Texas Chick. I think I want to say carbon. It's right. We're carbon-based life forms. I got it right. I'm a little surprised at myself there. I didn't really know that. I just guessed. I like medicine because I never know where I am. Well, you got that one right, Bossy Texas Chicken Bella. I like the category, Nancy. Excellent. Nancy and Bossy Texas Chick both got it right. That was a good question. Next question. We can go pretty fast. Which part of the body filters blood and produces urine? The liver, the kidney, the heart, or the stomach? Which part of the body filters blood and produces urine? The liver, the kidney, the heart, or the stomach? I want to say it's liver. Nope, it was the kidney. See, I'm not a doctor. I'm a towel. All right, points up on the board. I knew I was going to lose points in this round. Understood, Bossy Texas Chicken Bella. Nancy just took 2 points. And Bossy Texas Chicken Bella, I take a full point. Why? Because I don't know anything about the body, apparently. I just found out that I have towel bones. Next question. Which vitamin deficiency is primarily linked to the development of scurvy? Oh, we were just talking about this the other day. Which vitamin deficiency is primarily linked to the development of scurvy? Vitamin B12, vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin C. Vitamin B12, vitamin A, vitamin D, or vitamin C? I think it's vitamin C. See, I got it. I remembered because we learned about the first Thanksgiving the other day. What do you got for us? Excellent, Nancy. Excellent answer. Bossy Texas Chick. Good guess. It is not vitamin D. I think that has to do with the sun. Scurvy, I think, is when you like go on a long sea trip and don't eat enough like limes or whatever they use to combat it. Next question. What condition is characterized by high levels of glucose in the bloodstream? Hyperlipidemia, diabetes, asthma, or hypertension? What condition is characterized by high levels of glucose? Hyperlipidemia, diabetes, asthma, or hypertension? Well, the only thing I know about anything related to glucose is diabetes, so I'm going diabetes. I got it. We're learning in our relaxed trivia day. I think what I'm going to do is set trivia up around hearings, because then people want to watch the hearings. We have recess, we play trivia. I think that's, I want to get back into it. It kind of gives me a reason to keep my mind sharp. All right. Who got this one right first? I think it was Nancy. Excellent job, Nancy. I think you're going to take the crown again today, Nancy. Woe is Bunny Towel for having to do Thanksgiving week chores. Next question. What class of drugs is commonly used to lower cholesterol levels? Beta blockers, antihistamines, statins, or ACE inhibitors? What class of drugs is commonly used to lower cholesterol levels? Beta blockers, antihistamines, statins, or ACE inhibitors? It's either statins or beta blockers. I'm going to go with statins. Wow. Towel's just on the ball today. I don't know where all the... I don't know where these answers are coming from. But the answer is number 3, statins. Excellent job, Nancy. Excellent job, Bossy Texas Chicken Bella. All right, last question of this round. Here we go. Which technique uses sound waves for imaging internal structures? X-ray, ultrasound, endoscopy, or magnetography? Which technique uses sound waves for imaging internal structures? X-ray, ultrasound, endoscopy, or magnetography? Sound waves. I'm going to go with ultrasound. All right. I didn't even know that. I just guessed. I mean, it kind of makes sense if you think about it. It has the word sound in it, but I didn't know that's what an ultrasound is. Nancy grabbing the full point, and Bossy Texas Chicken Bella grabbing half a point. All right. Excellent round. So we all are on the podium today. We're all on the podium. We'll see if Allie comes back. Maybe I'll play a video just to get us caught up on the happenings in the civil case. But my goodness, Towel pulls it off, at least after 2 rounds. Maybe we'll play a few more rounds if Allie comes in. Towel pulls it off by half a point. I kind of want to give Nancy a chance to win, though. Nancy's in second place, 10.5 points, and Bossy Texas Chicken Bella rounding out the podium, 6.5 points. It was kind of an impromptu game of trivia anyway, so... I kind of want to play one more round, though. All right, how about this? We'll watch a video for a little bit. If Allie and Rue come back, they can play the next round. And then after this short video, we will pause. One, because I didn't really want to stream that much today. I was just interested in the fact that Tully got counsel. The other thing is, let me check the docket, all right? Because I guess I should be somewhat of a responsible towel. If there's any updates for you from the docket, I guess I'll be able to let you know that now. So give me 1 second. Going to check whether Cosgrove filed anything on the Kearney docket. I don't understand why he's not filing anything. I think it was due a few days ago. I understand the hearing isn't until the 5th of December, but like he's just not going to file his response? I don't really understand. So I'm checking the docket. Let's see. Nothing. Wow. And then I've also been checking to just see if any indictments come down, and I haven't seen any of those either, but we'll check it out. All right. I'm clicking search. A begin and end date is required. Mass courts like is so hard to use, and it's not even just as a member of the public. It's just so hard to use. All right, no updates. Let's find a video to watch. All right, so if you haven't really been following what's been going on, it's kind of just been this like long-standing cacophony of chaos. It kind of started bubbling up, I don't know, about 10 days ago or so, maybe like on the 12th of November. There was just this sense that something was wrong. I couldn't exactly put my finger on it, but there was just all these developments that were happening, and it was right around when Karen filed her civil lawsuit that just made me think, like, what is going on here, you know? Like the judge changed in the Kearney case, and then there was a lot of like rapid developments related to like discovery being withheld, and then this motion goes up from Kearney. Remember, that's what we're waiting for a response from Cosgrove on. Kearney submitted this like tripartite motion to dismiss to remove Mello from the 2023 indictments, and then something I think it was to compel discovery or something. And they, in that motion, the initial motion, there was a lot of stuff. It was like Betterow said it was like a long number of pages. It turned out it was like probably half the number of pages, but it was long. It was like 23 to 40 pages. Betterow submits a supplement, all right? And that's really where, like, I don't even think that's what things were building up to. That was just what I think caused Kate Peter and all her people to start losing their mind. Because little did anyone know, in hindsight, with the benefit of hindsight, it's pretty clear that Kate Peter and all her people were planning to launch this fundraiser for the Canton defendants in Karen Reed's lawsuit. But as this is all going down, to bring us back in a circle, it's Leah Genduso who ends up making an appearance in Eden Kearney's filing from Mark Betterow. Oh, Bossy Texas Chick. We got to talk about that, all right? That because I didn't say it was filed. I actually, in the stream, you can look back, I talked about the Rule 9A process. I actually really laid out like why Massachusetts' Rule 9A process with the submitting of civil documents is so unique. And I actually said out loud, this is odd to have the response, but not the original filing. And here's why I said it's odd. Because a motion is a way of speaking to the public. And the reason like a 9A package is done the way it's done, I guess, is because all of it goes up at once. It's not like a criminal docket where you get like the prosecution submitting a motion a couple weeks like Kearney did, or like Kearney submits a motion in the criminal case, a couple weeks later Cosgrove responds, whatever. It's not like that. Everything goes up at the same time on the civil docket for most motions under 9A, all right? I'm not a lawyer. This is not legal advice. I was saying at the time, we don't have the initial motion. Here's why that's weird. It doesn't benefit Karen for just her opponent's argument to come out. Now, yes, their argument was mooted, basically. The Canton defendant's argument was mooted by virtue of Karen filing her civil suit in Bristol for reasons we talked about. But yeah, I was saying at the time, this is odd for a number of reasons. Oh, yeah, and Bossy Texas Chick, you were not the only person confused. I think a lot of people were left confused by the timing of the release of the civil filing. But anyway, where I wanted to get us caught up was this document, okay? This is really what's going to come center stage. Let's actually just play. We can just play the towel reading it through. I think I have a video of me reading the whole thing. Because it really is going to become, like, it's not only central to Kate Peter's hearing tomorrow, which, by the way, if you missed the news yesterday, Kate Peter, there's a new special prosecutor that has been assigned. We were going to find out tomorrow whether the Norfolk DA was going to, like, cop to having a conflict of interest with Kate Peter. I don't know if they're going to do that, but they at least assigned a special prosecutor, which seems to indicate they're at least willing to admit the appearance of a conflict. I don't know if they'll admit an actual conflict. Well, you might say, why is it going to be so hard for them not to appoint a special prosecutor in Kate Peter's felony cases, or why would it have been? Well, because a few days before that announcement came out, information came out showing that Kate Peter was in direct contact with the Norfolk DA, and more than that, that information was being withheld from Kearney and Discovery, in particular related to Leah Genduso. So let's Let's listen to the Leah Genduso recording that is at the center of all of this, and then we'll go back and look at the motion. Because that's really what's central, I think, to a lot of Kate Peters' arguments. And by the way, I wasn't clicking on that picture. I meant to click on her profile so I could go look at this post. I just happened to pick that picture, which, I mean, you got to admit, you can see why she sets trends. You know what I'm saying? She's a trendsetter, all right? But yeah, let's take a look at this recording, because this recording came out before the Kearney motion. And I guess more so than anything else, it's the Kearney motion that I think is the most active, because he's the only one other than Kate that has criminal proceedings really ongoing. So this is really where it all started, all right? So Lindsey makes this post that says, Kate Peter loves to have people do her dirty work, putting Leah bathtub... This post has 161,000 views. All right, hold on. Putting Leah bathtub Genduso on a Spaces to run her mouth and lie her ass off about Lindsey because Kate knows that Leah would become front and center. Little misquote, I have a life and nothing to do with any of this. Leah is cute talking about mental health when I have a copy of her blank note and she has dreams of blanking people. Totally normal. All right, so the reason why she says this is, let me just point out, she's not exaggerating. This is a message from Leah Genduso. Okay, I'm going to do a dramatic reading of this. I can't believe this is where we've gone here. But I wanted to relax today, and surprisingly, spending time with you all and just kind of reading this stuff helps me decompress. So I'm going to do a dramatic reading of a message that Leah Genduso sent to... Hold on one second. That Leah Genduso sent... What am I looking at here? Oh, yeah. That Leah Genduso sent to... I think it was to Lindsey. Now, I want to be very clear. I'm going to do a dramatic reading. And you might be saying to yourself, oh no, Grant, you're not going to do that. Oh yes, I am. I'm not as good as Auntie Deb, let me tell you, all right? Auntie Deb's got the actor bug, you know what I'm saying? I don't have that, all right? I'm a reporter. I got the towel Walter Cronkite bug, all right? But I can do a dramatic reading of this, all right? I'm going to have to really compose myself. You really get the benefits when just hanging out on a down day. All right, ready? I can't do this. I can't. You know what we're going to do? We're going to have an A. That's exactly what we're going to do. That's what I want to do. We're going to have an AI do a dramatic reading of this. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Movie announcer voice AI. All right. We're doing this. I don't care what anybody says. I refuse to be told otherwise. We are doing this, all right? I'm going to type this sentence out, and then I'm going to have different AI voices read it for us. And you might be saying to yourself, Grant, that's absolutely outrageous. Yeah, that's pretty reasonable. That's a reasonable thing to say. But you know what? I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I can't. I cannot even get through the first sentence without laughing. She put this in writing. As I type it out, I'm baffled. I'm pretty sure she wanted to ninja kidnap him. Oh my goodness. Who says things like this? I mean, and this person was a state police officer. I get they got to be a little, aggressive, but are you sure that's not just a little too aggressive? All right. Voice generator movie announcer. Yes, I know. This is what you all want to see. Alright, which one was I using? I feel like I was using a decent one recently. You'd be surprised how hard it is to get a decent AI voice generator. Some of them work pretty well, but not all of them are great. I typed out the sentence, though. I think this is the one I want to use. Yeah, it is. Alright, I found the right one. Give me a second. This is, by the way, relevant because part of the motion that's going to be argued in the Kearney case in whatever it is, December, is related to whether some of this was disclosed to Kearney in discovery. So, yes, I'm going to do this dramatic reading of one of these messages, but that's not really what I'm going to do. What we're looking for is the recording. This is just a little pause, a dramatic reading. No, I don't want pre-written text. Oh, I guess I was already using this server before. All right, ready? I'm going to pick a voice, and we're going to have it read. What voice? No, I don't want Zoe. I want a dramatic reading. Let's see. What about Slushy? Who's this guy?
And just when everyone...
Oh, yes. I'm picking Slushy. He's a snowman. All right. This is a dramatic reading of what Leah Genduso had to say about Aidan Kearney. Hold on, I spelled one of the words wrong. It won't do it right if I'm not perfect. All right, here we go. Come on.
I legit had a dream where I was dressed like a ninja, staked his house out in a creep van, and smashed him in the head with a flashlight, dragged him into said creepy van, tied him up, and pistol whipped his nose so hard it shattered as he cried for his mama.
Who allowed me on the internet? All right, we're picking another one. What other voice do we want to use here? Let's see. Who's Dollar Jr.?
When the crowd's energy hit that peak.
Oh, yes. Here we go. Let's try in the voice of Dollar Jr. I don't know who the hell that is, but here we go. This is glorious.
I legit had a dream where I was dressed like a ninja, staked his house out in a creep van, and smashed him in the head with a flashlight, dragged him into said creepy van, tied him up, and pistol whipped his nose so hard it shattered as he cried for his mama.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. You don't understand. This is so funny. I needed this. Alright, we're doing it again. I want to just do a whole stream where we have dramatic readings of Leah Genduso's comments about Aidan Kearney. Maybe we should do it about Kate Peters' post too. She's pretty funny. Alright, let's pick another funny one. It needs to be absolutely outrageous though. Alright, let's see. Alright, how about someone named... Alright, news reporter. Alright, Shanna, you take it away. One more.
I legit had a dream where I was dressed like a ninja, staked his house out in a creep van, and smashed him in the head with a flashlight, dragged him into said creepy van, tied him up, and pistol whipped his nose so hard it shattered as he cried for his mama.
It was funny until you actually realize, like, this is someone close to positions of power. All right? Now, this is the recording. I don't actually know what she says in this recording. I think I listened to it before. I mean, she sent it as an audio note, but for some reason it wasn't given to Kearney in Discovery. Let's see
Lindsey,
if it's material. Hold on. Let's see if it's material.
Lindsey, I just totally thought of something, and I'm sorry, I haven't been on the job for 5 years, so sometimes it takes me like a little bit longer to process stuff in my head and recall stuff, but I would highly recommend you going and talking to Joe Mello tomorrow, because if you become a witness, he can't do shit to you, because then that's intimidation of a witness, so there's no revenge porn, there's no contacting you, there's literally no speaking of you, there's nothing, and they could reiterate it in the discretionary stuff when it comes to the standards of the witness and the application for everything to be done by a judge, where he can't even mention your name, he can't talk about your kids, he can't dox you. Oh my god, this is like, I didn't even think of this, but like you calling Mello and having potential like information to help that case and then putting him as a witness, that gives you like the perfect thing to not have to worry about any of this, because he'll be more scared he's going to go to jail.
Now, the fact that it's possible Tully and Genduso know each other, let me just say, first of all, I'm not a lawyer. This is not legal advice, but I have some things to say, okay? One, that's fucking bullshit. What fucking state cop is like, yeah, just go have ex parte contact with the prosecutor. That's a great fucking idea. You're either the worst state cop of all time or you were trying to sabotage that case, in my opinion. Bro, like, do you understand that encouraging her to do that is the opposite of giving her protection? Now, it also is really insidious for this reason. If Leah knew Tully, okay, then this wasn't Leah just coming up with the idea of getting Lindsey involved. They were trying to get her involved through all these different channels and whatnot because they were using pressure or whatever. She was an unwitting honeypot, really. And because of that, Leah was like, oh, you should call Ken, the special prosecutor. Bro, you're either so dumb, and I'm not setting aside this possibility. We just listened to her talking about Ninja kidnapping Aiden Kearney. I don't even know how that came up. The point is, we have to put on the board that Leah Bathtub Genduso, is so fucking dumb that she didn't know. And remember, she was a dispatcher from 2008 after she got caught selling weed, or that was a lot of weed, and money laundering. She was a dispatcher for 6 years. No, 8 years, 2008 to 2014. Then she was a trooper from 2014 to 2018. She went through the academy. So either she is so dumb that no one during that process told her, or she did not retain information about how ex parte contact with a prosecutor like that compromises the case. Okay, either she didn't learn that, or she was told it and forgot it. So that's one possibility. We're putting this on the board. I'm doing some analysis. This is my opinion. The other possibility, which I personally think is much more likely in light of all this fucking chaos, is that Leah knew that Lindsey talking to Ken would eventually compromise the cases, because they did not actually want to prosecute Aiden Kearney for that stuff. All they wanted was for Lindsey to give them information so they could get Karen's phone and then charge Karen and Aiden for new things. That makes it really insidious, because that means that when Tully released that phone extraction, I was thinking about this today. We can look at it today. So there was this guy named Father Mark Murphy, all right? He was in the he was in the Roman Catholic Church, I think. He got defrocked for being in a relationship with a man. Now, listen, I don't care if you want to date a man, bro, but you cannot be a priest and date a man. Like, you got to choose. You can't be a priest and date anyone, man, woman, or otherwise, or whatever. You commit yourself to God. But this guy, Father Mark Murphy, I want to talk a little bit about this, because Jen Mass and I were having a little back and forth on Twitter. She's very respectful. I'm very respectful of Jen Mass, so no distaste there. It was a very friendly, amicable conversation, but I want to talk about it a little bit. So back in, I don't know, you got to think of the timeline, right? Leah Genduso and Lindsey were talking late 2023, I think that was, or whatever, and all the stuff goes down with Lindsey and Aiden and Karen telling Aiden not to go over there on the 23rd of December 2023, whatever. All that stuff goes down, all right? And then Aiden gets his bail revoked. Okay, he is revoked from December 26th through February 23rd of 2024. So December 26th of 2023 through February 23rd of 2024. He gets out of jail and he immediately moves to amend the RO that Lindsey had at the time as well to allow him to go to court hearings. He wins that RO being amended in like April or something, early April of 2024. 3 weeks later, right as the first Karen Reed trial is about to start, when Jen McCabe's about to become the intense focus of public discussion, Tully leaks that unredacted phone extraction after clearly, with Nick Garino's help, in my opinion, manipulating it while I was in state police custody to remove messages from Tully to Lindsey and from Kate to Lindsey and recordings of Leah Genduso, apparently. See where I'm getting at here? So I want to talk a little bit about the lead up to that, though, because I think this all ties back to Kate Peter. I've been pretty... the Polish Catholic Church allows priests to marry. Nancy, I did not know that. Now listen, I'm not saying there might not be a point in time where the church doesn't need to change its ways. But as of now, at least as far as I'm aware, Rome doesn't really allow priests to marry. I don't think the Pope has ever really gone along with that. I think there was, let me pause before we talk about Father Mark Murphy, because it is related. I think what happened was some of the Latin American parishes, Catholicism is on the rise in Latin America, and I think some of them couldn't get priests, okay? So I think there was Pope Francis, in particular, considered a papal bull that would have allowed for a trial period in Latin America, in certain dioceses, where priests could get married. That caused the Curia, the Roman Curia, to lose their minds. They were not going to have it. And it didn't go forward as far as I'm aware. It became an idea, but it didn't actually go forward. Now, this is a source of tension in the church, because it's really a question of, can you continue to recruit for the priesthood? I don't know. I'm not a scholar of this. I just had very basic beginning of discernment kind of process relationship to it. But I'll tell you, I don't know. It's very, it's definitely not a Roman Catholic Church, Nancy. Yeah, for sure. That makes sense. There are other Catholic orders that allow women to be priests, but they're not recognized by the Roman Catholic Church. But let me talk specifically about the Roman Catholic Church. It's a very personal thing to hear the call to be a priest, right? I don't know, I guess I'm probably one of the small group of people who can talk about it. I didn't go to seminary or become a priest, but I heard the call. I know what it was. I know what happened. So I think my opinion on it is this. Whether you hear the call to serve your country or serve God or whatever it is, it's not like your free will goes away. It's the call for a reason. You're making a conscious choice after you hear the call, especially in the Roman Catholic Church, to devote your life to the church and to God and to the Pope in particular, depending on which order you're in. Sometimes you're swearing an allegiance directly to the Pope. And so I think if you make that choice of your own free will, it's kind of like joining the military. I don't care what you think about the rules. You follow them. You agreed to them. It's a very sacred thing. No one forced you. The call is not a choice, but no one forced you to go through discernment or enter seminary. If you're doing that, respect the rules. That's my view on it. I think people should love whoever they want. I just think if you're going to join an institution like that, you've got to follow its rules. And this was the Roman Catholic Church he was in. So this guy, Father Mark Murphy, he leaves the Catholic Church. I don't know when. You can read the news articles about it, whatever. It was a while ago. It was in the early 2015, around there, before, earlier, whatever. Then he goes on, I believe, to work with Athena Garrison, all right, who's was a perennial candidate for the Boston City Council. But that's not what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is the first few months of 2014. Because I think, in particular, March 10th, 2014, that was the day that this account popped up called the Jennings Report, run by a guy named Mark Jennings. Now, this man was not real. Mark Jennings did not exist, okay? Now, Mark Jennings only existed online, and the Jennings Report only existed for a few weeks. Now, those few weeks were obviously before Brian Tully leaked the phone extraction, okay? Lindsey's phone extraction. But they were during a time when, interestingly enough, Brian Tully might have known that he was going to leak that phone extraction. Notice March 10th, 2024 is roughly 2 weeks after Aidan Kearney got out of jail on the bail revocation. Roughly 1 month before the RO was amended. I don't think it had anything to do with Aidan Kearney, though. I really don't. That's why I think Aidan's probably baffled by all this. I haven't asked him, but I think he's probably baffled by a lot of this stuff because Or at least was at the time. I don't know how he feels now. This is all very complicated. I think he was baffled by it because I think this was Kate. So this account shows up, and it's basically writing about Lindsey and me a little bit. That's how I even was made aware of it, because it was going at me. And Kate already didn't like me around this time. I forget when like she first went at me like behind the scenes, but she already didn't really like me, and it got worse after the phone extraction got leaked. But let me talk a little bit about this. The Jennings report pops up, and it's only around for 2 weeks, but it's acting in a very specific way. It's going after Lindsey, it's going after me a little bit, and it's very specific attacks. Obviously not about the phone extraction, but very specific attacks. And in hindsight, were like a lot of the stuff Kate now says openly about both of us. Well, about 3 weeks into the op, I call it an operation. It's an operation. This leaks. And what is this? This is a domain registrar. Now, I know who leaked this, okay? And this is redacted, so we can take a look at this. I know who leaked this. I know who found this, okay? And I'm a little baffled by them, and they know who they are. I'm a little baffled by them, too. But they do their own thing, whatever. So who owned the Jennings report? None other than Father Mark Murphy. He forgot to hide his domain registration, and it got leaked. Immediately, he deleted all the accounts. Okay? Immediately. Who popped up right after that? Jason Broyles. Not under his real name, but under an account called Haley Walbrecht. And Jason has implied, by the way, he immediately on the Haley account went around doing what Father Mark Murphy was doing, and then Haley became the source for a lot of the attacks on Lindsey. I think not to benefit Aiden. I think it was to benefit Kate. And I think Haley, quote Haley, Jason Broyles was specifically using Lindsey and attacks on Lindsey at Kate's direction so Broyles could get credibility with supporters of Turtle Boy and Karen Reed, so that then Broyles could feed information back to Kate. And Broyles has hinted for a while that when everyone, quote, finds out who he was really working for, people will be shocked. I'm not going to be shocked, motherfucker. I'm not shocked. That's what I think you were doing. And I think it goes back to that PI firm run by that guy, Marty Kraft. It's just too close to Proctor, too close to Brian Albert, too close to Kate. Jen McCabe's too involved in all this. Tully. It's too much inside baseball. They were like running it as their personal fiefdom, that whole county. And it went deep. Like, it's not, people don't understand. It's not just what happened to Lindsey or the Karen Reed and John O'Keefe case. Bro, this shit went deep. We only know a little bit about what these people were doing. The Birchmore case is only kind of like the tip of the iceberg. I know it. So I don't know what the hell is about to happen. I kind of feel like the only option is to, like, for the feds to get some of them. You know what I'm saying? I don't think there's really an alternative here, because the state can't really do it. It's too many conflicts of interest. But the feds don't really love prosecuting cops right now. I don't know if you noticed that. So it's this rock and a hard place. But if I were President Trump and this got to my desk, or if I were Pam Bondi, the attorneys general, and this got to my desk, if I remain justice, it's such a quagmire. It's such a quagmire because clearly they're comfortable charging Farwell. They just re-indicted him. Clearly there's another grand jury going on about all this. So if you're comfortable charging Farwell, that means like there's some stuff cops can do that go over the line. All right. Well then, what are you doing here? Like, you don't just want Farwell. You must be willing to get the people who covered up Sandra Birchmore's murder. And that could only be Brian Tully's unit. And so that's why I think everything ties together. Jason Broyles, Mark Jennings, Father Murphy, that PI firm, Tully's unit, the Norfolk DA. They're vengeful too. Very vengeful. And you know, personally, I don't understand it. Like, why go to the mat for them? Like, are you so... I think some people are so pot committed to defending the investigation of John O'Keefe's death that, like, I know there's a famous phrase. I'm quoting the president. Like, the president could walk down the street, like, shoot someone and no one would do anything. That's what President Trump said once. I'm just quoting the president. I don't think we're there yet, but I am seriously, like, worried that if Brian Tully or Kate Peter or whatever did walk down the middle of the street and just, like, shoot someone, some of these people would go online and be like, oh, well, you know, sometimes the bullet just, like, goes in a big circle and ricochets and clearly she just tripped and, you know, it wasn't on purpose. That's how bad I think it is. That's how pot committed these people are psychologically to defending the integrity of the investigation into John O'Keefe's death. That is what gets me going a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It gets me going because it's very sad for the O'Keefes, okay? It's really not fair to them. It's kind of like that case up in New Hampshire that led to a mistrial the other week, right? Cop gets up there on the stand, says to the jury that the defendant invoked his Fifth Amendment rights. You moron. You cannot tell that to the jury. Your invocation of silence cannot be used against you. They can't. You telling that to the jury makes it look like you have something to hide. You cannot say that if you're a cop. All right, the cop does it. The judge scolds him, scolds the prosecutors, moves on. Another witness gets up there a week later and says the same thing to the jury, and they immediately mistrial it. That's my point. I feel bad for the family because you cannot have procedural defects in an investigation and sustain to a conviction. You're lucky if you get to bring it to trial. Look at what happened with the Comey and Loletta James indictments thrown out today because Lindsey Halligan wasn't appointed correctly as a U.S. attorney. I'm telling you, procedural defects ruin cases. And so if you want to be mad at someone, do not be mad at the people calling out the missteps and the procedural errors in these investigations. You should be embracing those people. Not every one of them. But you should be embracing them so that future convictions will sustain. Do you understand, folks, that if things were done a certain way, just by the book, and I'm not saying that the investigation was flawed, all right, but procedurally by the book, no text messages about Karen from Proctor to his buddies. No weird, like, indictment on a very weird interpretation of the malice second-degree murder prong related to reckless conduct. It sounds like murder, but it doesn't require intent. Nobody's going to get that. If it was just, like, charged a certain way, and I know it's easy to Monday morning quarterback, but if it were just charged a certain way and just investigated a certain way, we wouldn't have this problem. But that's not the issue. Do you really think that all of this procedural maneuvering, the hostility, the toxicity, the anger, you think it's about because Michael Proctor said a few bad words about Karen Reed? No. You think it's about John O'Keefe? No, I'm sorry, it's not. That case is what brought all the attention down on this unit. But what it comes down to is it was about their pattern of conduct that no one ever would have found out about. Ask yourself this question. Would we really be talking about Sandra Birchmore if not for the Karen Reed case? Would we really be talking about this unit and all these withheld pieces of evidence on Proctor's phone or otherwise if not for the Karen Reed case? Who's the real informant? It's staring you in the face. It's Karen. She's not really an informant. She's more like a... I'm pretty sure... Let me be gentle about this. I've said this on stream before. I even said it to Sean McDonough one time when I was interviewing him. There's something about Karen and her dad in particular, but Karen too, that doesn't add up. she's like an agency person. And those of you who speak that language, I'm sure will know what I'm talking about. She's like, normally when you're an asset, I'm not an asset, I'm just talking about the documents I read. When you're a government asset, and I don't mean like a low-level criminal who got flipped. When you are a government asset, the general rule of thumb is if you get caught or criminally banged up, most of the time they're gonna disclaim any relationship to you. Think about like E. Howard Hunt, G. Gordon Liddy, the Watergate burglars. They're gonna be like, bro, I don't know who that is. They don't work for the CIA. Put them in jail. Like, that's what they'll normally do. This, though, is something I've heard of and read about in the documents, but I've never actually seen. I think this is something different. I think there's a rule of thumb in the intelligence community that as long as you don't, like, get your cover blown on an operation. So as long as you're just, like, living your life and something crazy happens to you or you do something crazy. From what I've heard, and I've never confirmed it, and I don't want to confirm it, the way it works is being in the intelligence community isn't just what you do in your day job. It's that CIA people go to CIA doctors and CIA lawyers and CIA accountants. You see what I mean? They won't give that to you if you get your cover blown on an op. They'll just say they don't know you. But they will give that to you if you're an asset and something crazy happens in your life and you need help. That's what I think we have here. I'm almost positive, in fact. No, I do not think... Peter! I'm going to entertain this question in good faith, and I'm going to say my answer with a straight face. But, Peter, I cannot believe that you actually think that's my position. No, I do not think Karen Reed killed Sandra Birchmore. I think Matthew Farwell killed Sandra Birchmore because someone, not just Sandra, told him he was the father of Sandra's unborn 8 to 10-week-old baby boy when he wasn't. And in reality, there was a ring of cops abusing young girls in Stoughton and Canton and otherwise. Farwell was just one of them, and Farwell was told to go kill Sandra. He did it, and he was told, hey, our guys run the CPAC unit in Norfolk County, which was Brian Tully's unit, which, by the way, Yuri Buchanan and John Fanning both used to work in Stoughton. John Fanning, who ran the investigation and wrote the report about Matthew Farwell absolving him of responsibility for Sandra's death. Fanning, who was 20 years partner with Brian Tully, the unit commander. Yuri Buchanan, the sergeant right under Tully, who also worked in Stoughton. See what I'm driving at here? The same unit that investigated Karen Reed and investigated Kearney. Karen knew. That's why I keep... Oh, that's another thing I want to talk about. Let's talk about this fight between Aiden and Karen. I don't really understand it, frankly. All right? Here's my opinion on it all. If everything that I believe about this state police unit is true, okay, then Karen and Aiden don't really need to work together. They each are working on fighting this unit in their own ways. What's causing them to fall apart is that they're being pitted against each other in order for the unit to fracture its opposition. It's playing both sides against the middle. It's a very common tactic. Karen's never going to get over, in my opinion. I don't speak for her. I've never talked to her. Karen is never going to get over that she was recorded. All right, these two are irredeemably fractured. But they still, there's no reason for them to be hostile. I think there might be an issue here because Aiden's monetary opportunities might be tied to his ability to work with Karen. Okay, fine. If that cannot happen, though, you can't just say it's all or nothing. That's black and white thinking. You can't say, okay, Karen's not going to work with me, so therefore I'm never going to be able to do this, so I'm going to go at her. No. You have your own story. Everyone does who's involved in this godforsaken chaos. Your story might tangentially touch upon Karen Reed, but just go do it. You're probably better at, that stage managing thing than she is anyway. Go make your own name. Just do it. You don't need her. Therefore, you won't have to continue in this spat, which is in effect just giving Tully and his unit cover. Karen, though, likewise, she doesn't owe anyone anything. She owes her supporters gratitude, which she showed. But really, her primary focus, I'm sure, and folks have to think about this, is she knows, she said this on some of the comments on the JFK show, she knows things she's not saying. So if Karen Reed, thank you, Peter from Lowell, I appreciate your kind follow-up. If Karen Reed knows things that she's not saying, okay, it's because she put together this full picture a long time ago, and it's all not over. It's not just the civil case, okay? It's that Karen knows what this unit was doing. I would guess, although I cannot confirm it, I would guess that Kate Peter is someone that Karen hates almost as much, if not more, than Aiden Kearney. Okay? So if you hate Kate Peter and Tully in that unit more than Aiden, okay, then what you should be focused on is holding that unit and the people in their orbit accountable. That's my opinion. They don't have to work together, but they're being driven apart as a pressure tactic, in my opinion, so that Aiden will flip on Karen to confirm new criminal charges against Karen. But two things. One, this has to actually happen. That we are less than 12 months away from the next election, okay? The Norfolk DA is going to not run. Michael Morrissey is not going to run. If he does, first of all, he's going to just get wiped, and it would be embarrassing, and every debate would be horrible, and it would be the worst election year in the history of Norfolk County, and he'd do it just to lose all the money and get like 4% of the vote. Look at his polling. Michael Morrissey's done, okay? So he's a lame duck. He has 11 months to go, okay? He has 11 months to go in his tenure. Sorry, my computer screen went to screensaver. Morrissey has 11 months to go, 12 months to go until the new DA is elected. There is no way that they can bring a new case. They might be able to indict, but there's no way they can bring a new case and get it to trial in 11 months. I'm not sure they can get Kearney's cases, his existing case that they didn't drop, the one they didn't drop, to trial in 11 months. So what are they doing? It makes no sense. None of it makes any sense whatsoever. And that's what's really frustrating me about this. It's got to be survival instinct at this point, okay? It just has to be survival instinct. Oh, by the way, I had a large coffee. That's why it took me a second to get going. But, folks, there is something off about all of this. I don't even think they know. You don't even think who knows, Bossy Texas Chick. I need a little bit more, but I'll colloquy with you. There's something more to this that explains that explains why these two camps are being pitted against each other. And to me, it doesn't really matter, okay, which side you support. I don't care if you support Karen or Aiden. That's immaterial to this. What's material is who benefits from those camps fracturing. And why do they want those camps to fracture right now? It's not just the civil lawsuit, as I said. There's a reason why they need Aiden. But who needs Aiden? Who? What? Why would the Norfolk DA, who's about to go out of office, need this guy? Cosgrove's made reference to some kind of interagency operation or investigation. Is it the AGO? There's a variable here. I think the variable is the Facebook post in the summer of 2023 by someone who knew Jessica Leslie's friend, the O'Keefe and Reed grand juror leaker. But why would they care? What am I not seeing? Has to be something to do with the Democrats. Okay? Because the pattern of that office under U.S. Attorney Foley is like they get Democrats. It doesn't matter if you're a cop or not. Tompkins was a cop. They got him. So it has to be Democrats in particular. And don't forget, Morrissey has that guy who works for Ashcroft. What the hell is his name? Michael T. Sullivan or whatever. Working for him too. Liaising with the feds. My brain for many months has said that a very real possibility is that Michael Morrissey had the most to lose. Because everyone I really was listening to about this kept saying, like, Michael Morrissey's not the bad guy here. It's the people around him. So what if the big secret, or what if the big hush-hush or variable is Michael Morrissey? I always thought that Hank Brennan prosecuting that case was a little weird. Okay? He did really good. Smart guy. His arguments were all fine. Nothing was like a bag job. But I always thought it was a little weird. Because he's not really a prosecutor. He's a high-level federal, really, but also state defense attorney. So then it made me wonder, and you know who else Hank Brennan knows? Because I found the case. So they worked together on a case, opposite sides, but they knew each other. U.S. Attorney Leah Foley. And it makes me wonder, why did Hank Brennan come on to that case? Adam Lally was perfectly capable. In fact, Adam Lally, if you go by the reported 9-3 guilty verdict on count 2 during the first trial, Adam Lally had a better outcome than Hank Brennan. And you don't need Hank Brennan for show. He's a good lawyer, but he's not bombastic. He's understated, if anything. He's firm. He doesn't take any shit. He's used to dealing with gangsters, so he doesn't take any shit. They would eat him alive if he gave the appearance that he would, was weak. So he's that, right? But that's not really why you would bring on Hank Brennan. And obviously it was probably hard to find someone to take the case. But what was Hank Brennan working on? And why doesn't he want to talk to me? What frustrates me about all this, as I mull over this mental mind map, is that it's not fair to the people who have been waiting and imperiled by this unit never being held accountable. It's really not fair to them, but I also understand that it takes a long time. But why? Why leave them out there on the street? You have them dead to rights on so much. Even what I know, okay, these people, you could bang them up for 50 to 100 years, some of them. Some of them were in positions of public trust. Why wait? It has something to do with the fact that Proctor's phone impacted at least 20 criminal cases. That's a piece of information the feds knew, held on to, purposefully so that Proctor would mislead the judge. Right? We know that based on the timing. Proctor just randomly giving up his appeal, like just his lawyer leaving, like the misrepresentations about the messages not existing, the 12 years of phone records. All right, so let's take that as a given, as a premise, that the feds had Proctor's phone for years, like 12 years of his records, and they only made it known that they did, and they didn't do it publicly, obviously, but they only made it known after Proctor, through his lawyer, made a representation to the Miles King judge and the Walsh judge and all the other cases involving Rosemary Scapiccio and whatever. Made a representation, Proctor, through his lawyer, made a representation that those phone records didn't exist. So take it as a given that that's what the feds do. Now let's look forward. Why might they be waiting? They've already done it once with Proctor. What do they think these people are going to do that would cause them to commit material misrepresentations or otherwise withhold evidence that's already in the possession of the feds? Okay, that's probably the most plausible explanation. So what are they waiting for? Okay. 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 Okay, I think I have an explanation. Adam Deutsch's choice to run for Norfolk DA has manifold implications. One of which I didn't stress or even think about the implications of until now. Which is he would have access to everything in that office. And that's a playbook that we're seeing play out on the federal level right now with what the DOJ was able to expose about Crossfire Hurricane, etc., Arctic Frost. Investigations by their predecessors undertaken in the name of their office that they then exposed when they came into office. All right, there you go. If that's how it all plays out, if Deutsch gets elected, comes into office, and then all hell breaks loose, you have your answer, what they're waiting for. They want the files. And it's legal communication, which is privileged, while the DA's in office. But if Adam Deutsch wins the office, it's Adam Deutsch's office. I wouldn't say it's that I love or hate him. I don't know Adam Deutsch. I'm apathetic about him as a person. It's that I'm thinking about why he would just leave his federal prosecutor job to go run for specifically Norfolk DA, which required him to move to Quincy. They want the files. Yeah, I'm sure he'll be a great Norfolk DA, but it's a power question. It's who's in whose circle. That's incredible. I really had to think that one through, but I think I'm onto something here. Because why wait? They must have... All right, let's back up a little bit. For a long time, I heard rumors that, like, different people were tapped, like, in the orbit of that office. What if maybe they picked up things that led... The feds picked up things that led them to believe this office had some shit going on. But they can't really nail them yet. They need more. That's the only thing that really makes sense to me. Because you have it all. You really do. Yeah, I think all hell has broken loose in Norfolk County. You're probably right, Bossy Texas chick. All right, let's watch a video overview, though. Let me, was this a good one? Was this one where I kind of address all that? Oh, yeah, it is. So listen to my kind of speech on this from yesterday, because another unspoken element of this is like what was going on in Canton, too. So here's how I talked about it yesterday, and then I'll analyze this after this plays. Hey, that's me. I'm a towel.
The filing, but just I thought I had it all put together. But there's something about the feds and Farwell and Birchmore and the open IA investigations of multiple troopers and the leak of Lindsey's phone extraction and the intel tactics and Marty Kraft as the PI and Kate Peter and the people in her orbit and all these like weird moles that work for like years to get close to people. Bro, that's some high level stuff, all right? That I can track it. I have some idea of what's going on. I can call it the nonsense. The way I'm able to do it is I don't think you all realize I'm not very well physically, so I have to lay down a lot. I just read, okay? That my eye isn't great, but I can just read or listen if I have a text-to-speech program if I need it, which I use a lot. Where do you think I found these things? Because I have trouble reading a lot because of my eye. But my optic nerve is not great. But my point is, I have enough of an understanding to have tracked where this has come to at this point. But I myself cannot tell you where it's going. I know that it's big. I know that it has to involve, like, this tension. I think the DOJ doesn't love prosecuting cops right now, based on what I understand. And I think that ties into why U.S. Attorney Foley was so comfortable having the Canton police and Hank Brennan and the Walsh prosecutors announce the end of the federal probe into John's death, although that probe had ended a while back. Because I think there's a political question about how to hold this unit, Brian Tully State Police Unit, accountable. This filing, I don't think, I haven't read it yet, but I don't think it's the big news. I think the timing of it, the way it's dropping, there's something going to happen soon that is not good for the people in the orbit of Kate Peter, the Norfolk DA, whatever. And I don't know what it is. And I've always felt that it wasn't necessarily what happened on the night of January 28th and January 29th. It was kind of like the book Midnight in Savannah. I've always felt this, like from Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, okay, which is about murder in Savannah in the 80s. A good documentary, too. I always felt it was like that. Like, yes, there was a very serious loss of life, and God rest John O'Keefe's soul. But there was something about these people, like this town, this ostensibly sleepy little town, that was really so much more. And it was about the secrets that lay beneath. It was about what Karen knew about what those people in the house did socially. It was what they knew about what Karen and John were like. It was about a lot of people who knew a lot of things that shouldn't have become public or they didn't want public. Now, I don't know tactically exactly how this all played out. I have some sense of it because I lived it. I didn't mean to. Bro, I did not mean to live this. I've talked about this before. It was an accident. It was just a Brian Riccio posting about Turtle Boy and my friend talking down the Cape one day while I was sitting on his porch about how Karen's route of travel was very complicated on the morning of January 29th. That's why I got interested in this. And then over 2.5 years, it just inadvertently, I lived it, all right? And I understand the dynamics. And there's something about, there's some unspoken tie between this PI firm, Marty Kraft, and I'm going to be very gentle here, and certain individuals who have been around either Turtle Boy or the Free Karen Reed movement for a long time, but weren't around them authentically. And those people, because they think that they're running ops to get people to emotionally react to them. But what's really happening is their ops are actually being kind of tracked in the larger picture as indications of what they're trying to hide. So you have to burn deep cover moles to run certain types of operations. And if you burn enough of them, then it allows your opposition or someone analyzing it to see who is working for who. They won't be saying it outright, but like if the tone of the responses, it's like what they don't want to talk about, whatever. Like folks don't realize like there's a point to every exchange that I have, and I'm always trying to test out like what tone are you using, who are you allied with, who are you really working for, who are you pretending to work for. I do that with everyone, bar very few specific people, okay, who I trust. So I know what's going on. I have a full picture in my head, and I have almost put it all together, and I see what was lying beneath. I don't like it. I hate it, actually. It's really not cool. They may think it's cool. I don't think it's cool, bro. It's not cool. It's like, it's malicious. Like, if there were honor to it, I would be so much more deferential to the unspoken here, okay? But there's no honor in how some of this played out. There was no honor in the release of that phone extraction. There was no honor in how Karen was talked about. There was no honor in how some of those text messages were withheld from criminal defendants. There's no honor in it. No, I absolutely think there are a lot of smears and lies being spread right now. I think a lot of people are close to Marty Kraft. Whether Benny is close to the PI Marty Kraft or Kate, I don't know. But yeah, Benny, if you want me to address it, my response is it's a smear, it's fake, it's designed to tactically induce very specific results, all of which failed, and I don't know, Kate sucks. Anyway, Benny, it's fine that you're here, but don't gaslight me. Come on. Don't play the game. Just say outright that you're connected to Kate Peter. I saw you at the hearing with her, right? I know your style. All right? I only ask questions I know the answer to. So you want me to flip it around, Benny? No. There will be no conversation between you and I because I know that you report to Kate Peter. You're a lackey. All right? So come to terms with it. All right? Just embrace it. All right? Hey, you brought this upon yourself. All right? That's what I said. Like, don't run an op on me. Are you out of your mind? I'm 42 steps ahead of you. I use that number on purpose. You got to read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which features towels, by the way. Why even bother? He didn't, Shannon. That's what I'm saying. It's this Kate Peter narrative that started as a smear in her Discord because documentation came out that Kate and all her people had, especially Kate, had direct contact with Michael Morrissey, the Norfolk DA, as well as Brian Tully and others. And Michael Morrissey was stupid enough to send himself an email with a Discord attachment that had a server ID that he didn't realize directly linked to Kate Peters' private Discord server, which also had members of and witnesses involved in both Karen Reed and Aiden Turtleboy Kearney's cases. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I get what people are really concerned about coming out, but please, like, don't disrespect, one, my intelligence, and I'm not being pedantic here. Don't disrespect my intelligence. Two, don't assume what I know. All right, that's a very bad idea. Okay, because I don't talk about most of what I know. I'm a reporter. Come on. Third of all, there's no reason to gaslight me. I hate it. I hate it. Just be straight up or don't bother. Like, look at the people in this chat, okay? These are people who have been here for a while. You don't just come in here, right? Like, it doesn't, you don't come in here and gaslight because you don't want to talk about Kate Peters' connection to the Norfolk DA, all right? Because that'll make me want to talk about it. So don't do it. Don't bother. Either come straight out and talk about your connection to her, Benny, or in the chat, or don't bother. But yeah, I'm glad I was able to address that. Thank you very much for your question, Benny. And in short, let me actually play a video. You know what? I want to play a video for Benny. Benny, this is a very special video for you. All right? Now, if you haven't seen this before, all right, I've played this before. It's a former FBI agent who does contract work for the CIA. He was caught by an undercover journalist. And I want to show this video because I think One, I don't think I'm going to ever decondition Benny, because you can't decondition someone who's being intentionally subversive. But I want to play this video because I think it's a very, very, very good commentary on exactly the operation we saw ran over the past few days. And Benny wanted my response, so I'm going to respond in video format with this clip, this excellent undercover clip, all right, because I'm a journalist. And I like when other journalists do the legwork. All right, so this is a clip from, I forget the agent's name. I'm going to bring the clip up here. Hold on, I have it. I posted it at some point recently to make this exact point, Benny. So I actually want to thank him, regardless of his motives, because he reminded me about this clip, and this is exactly the op that was ran over the past few days. Benny, God bless you. I actually needed to be able to bring up this clip. It is from, where am I going to say it? I just got to remember what I posted it under. Hold on, we're watching this clip come hell or high water. What did I post it under? I got to remember. Maybe I used the word like tactics. Yeah, I think I used the word tactics in the post, okay? So that's how I'm going to find it. Now, Benny, you got to pay attention. I want you to get your notepad out. All right, get your little towel notepad out. You're gonna your towel in training, all right, whether you can be deconditioned or not, and we're going to take notes on this, all right? This is a very important little video here. No, that's not it. Where is it? Come on now. All right. Honey pot. Hold on. I'm not going to give up that easily. I know I have it. What did he say in the beginning? Oh, like a bump. I think I called it like a bump or something, because it kind of is like a bump. I got it! I found it! Benny, God bless you. You're going to be so pleased that I found this. Oh, I'm so excited for you. All right, ready? Well, I'm excited for me, too, but look at this. All right, now tell me if this doesn't sound similar to exactly what we've seen over the past few days. So I want us all to put on our little towel hats. All right, we'll embrace our inner Auntie Deb. All right, everybody get ready to learn. Now, Benny, this is for you. I'm playing this video so you understand that this is exactly what played out over the last few days. And although I know you already know that, I'm actually speaking to the other people who are listening to our conversation as a kind of didactic learning experience. And you brought this upon yourself. Just remember that, all right? Just get a tattoo, or Kate Peter can get a tattoo that says, I brought this upon myself, remember that.
You can kind of put anyone in jail if you know what to do. How? You create the situation to where they have no choice but to act on their impulse. And once they act on that impulse, then we call that entrapment. We call it a nudge. A nudge. A nudge. Sometimes you just gotta give them a quick little, just to see what happens, right?
And how does that happen?
You put a post out there, or you have some fake profile say something that triggers, that we know is going to trigger them, right? Like we already know your history. If we're to that point, we already know everything about it. So we're like, oh, this will piss them off. Sometimes you light the fuse and just wait for it to follow. That's the only putting on a fake social media thing to like really get people mad. Mm-hmm. Post fake news. Sometimes it's not fake. It's embellished a little bit.
There you go. So, there you go. I'm glad we all took notes, and that is exactly what has been happening. Actually, you know what? Let me repost. I don't know. It's just weird. On September 12, 2024, I sent Misters Cosgrove, it's Messers, that's the plural of Misters, Cosgrove and Mello, a specific, that's a very outdated term, but it's cool to see it used, specific request for Brady material and discovery. Footnote 3. A specific demand for exculpatory evidence triggers this is under the new Rule 14, triggers a prosecutor's obligation to investigate the defense allegation. Once information is determined to be exculpatory, it should be disclosed, period. And where a prosecutor is uncertain about whether information is exculpatory, the prosecutor should err on the side of caution and disclose it. Ms. Genduso was an MSP trooper who resigned in 2018. Oh, we're not at footnote 4 yet. All right, hold on. This detailed demand thoroughly described the evidence that proved the existence of a conspiracy, the object of which was to anoint Ms. Gaetani a witness against Mr. Kearney. Okay, well, I don't know about that, because, like, I think it's more like Karen told him not to go over there. I don't think Bettero fully sees it. I think he almost sees it. He's really starting to get it. He's just, what's the word for this? There's a word where there's a logical fallacy where you assume that because a group of people did something that everyone involved was doing it. I'm not remembering it right now, but he's missing the key part of it, which is that was a honeypot. Lindsey was an unwitting honeypot. So that's why Bettero's like, he's getting it. He's like 90% there, but he doesn't, in my opinion, see the full picture. He also, I don't know if he sees like everyone who was involved. I think he's close. We'll read a little more. Specifically, I quoted numerous text messages between Ms. Genduso and Ms. Gaetani, which we had been provided by the Commonwealth in the extraction from Ms. Gaetani's phone. Yeah, but that's subject to a protective order. The protective order has not lapsed. These text messages revealed that on December 11, 2023... Wait, what? I don't think you're allowed to do this. Oh, does he not disclose the content? Wait. That protective order from Judge Krupp has not lapsed. Why is this here? Why is this here? You're not referencing the content, but you're making reference to sum and substance of material subject to Judge Krupp's order. There's a procedure. I don't understand. All right, but let's get to the context, okay? And by the way, just because someone who is not subject to the protective order breaks the protective order doesn't mean you can break the protective order. The Commonwealth, that's my opinion. I'm not a lawyer. I'm a towel. These text messages revealed that on December 11, 2023, at 8:50, during a text exchange between Ms. Genduso and Ms. Gaetani about a jail Mr. Kearney, Ms. Genduso excitedly texted Ms. Gaetani a media file. Then we learned Ms. Genduso was an MSP trooper who resigned in 2018 after Mr. Kearney reported that an internal affairs investigation revealed that she concealed from her employer her prior involvement with a drug-dealing criminal enterprise. Listen, Bettero, I get that she was moving weight, but still... cannabis. I guess you could have called it like narcotics trafficking to really be a dick. I'm just picking apart Bettero's style. Word choice is very important in these kind of motions. Well, I hope so, Mo, or I hope we get something set up for Towel within the next few months so I can get up on my feet. I have faith. All right, here we go. 22. Bettero says, I explain that the context of Ms. Genduso and Ms. Gaetani's messages immediately before and after Ms. Genduso sent the audio recording to Ms. Gaetani demonstrated that the media file appears to have played a significant role in Ms. Gaetani's effort to have Mr. Mello make her a witness against Mr. Kearney. I informed the prosecution that the Gaetani extraction report provided to the defense did not include a media file Leah Genduso sent Ms. Gaetani during a text message exchange, a few weeks prior to Mr. Kearney's arrest. I notified Messrs. Cosgrove and Mello that the missing media file was relevant, discoverable, and almost certainly favorable to the defense. Well, that's true. Especially because it's posted on Lindsey's Twitter now, so it's pretty obvious that Beto is right about this. I'm telling you, that Cape Peter Discord screwed up all these cases, and it's going to screw up the case against Karen, too. See Commonwealth v. McFarland, prosecutor must err on the side of caution and disclose where evidence may be favorable. On September 26, 2024, Mr. Cosgrove responded to my September 12, 2024 demand letter addressing the contents of Ms. Gaetani's extraction report generally. Mr. Cosgrove wrote that my September 12, 2024 specific demands were without merit and full of various speculation. On information and belief, at no time since September 12, 2024, has Mr. Cosgrove, Mr. Mello, Detective Lieutenant Tully, or any other agent of the Commonwealth sought to obtain the audio recording contained in the media file from Ms. Genduso or Ms. Gaetani. On November 13th, Ms. Gaetani confirmed for the defense that nobody from law enforcement has ever asked her for a copy of the Genduso media file or asked her if she maintains it. Very interesting. All right. All right. Wow. That's pretty intense. Let's see. Grant. Well, Peggy, I don't think it will happen immediately. Judge Krupp did not leave the case. Judge Krupp, new judge was specially assigned. To this day, the Commonwealth has not provided the Genduso media file to the defense, has not explained what efforts, if any, it made to obtain the evidence from Ms. Genduso or Ms. Gaetani, then has not explained why they have failed to disclose clearly exculpatory and discoverable evidence in furtherance of its Brady and Rule 14 obligations. Mo, I need to spread my wings in time, if I'm capable. On November 9, 2025, in an ex-Twitter post, Ms. Gaetani accused Ms. Genduso of being a liar. She published a portion of their December 11, 2023 text message exchange, which evinced Ms. Genduso's animosity for Mr. Kearney. Disturbingly, the messages released by Ms. Gaetani also revealed that Ms. Genduso fantasized that while dressed as a ninja... Wait, what? What? Wait, what? 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 This paragraph reads, disturbingly, the messages released by Ms. Gaetani also revealed that Ms. Genduso fantasized that while dressed as a ninja, staked his house out in a creep van and smashed him in the head with a flashlight, dragged him into said creepy van, tied him up, and pistol whipped his nose so hard it shattered as he cried for his mama. What? What? She what? She wanted to dress as a ninja. So Leah Genduso wanted to dress as, or was fantasizing about dressing as a ninja, stalking Aiden's house in a creep van, smashing him in the head with a flashlight, dragging him into the van, tying him up, and then pistol whipping him on the nose. Okay. 31. Ms. Gaetani's November 9th post included a copy of the Genduso media file. Not surprisingly, its contents were exactly as I described on Information and Belief to Messrs. Cosgrove and Mello on September 12, 2024. In the recording, Ms. Genduso urges Ms. Gaetani to meet with Mr. Mello so she would attain the status of witness, which the former MSP trooper advised Ms. Gaetani would prevent Ms. Kearney from even speaking about her or mentioning her name. Ms. Genduso reasoned to Ms. Gaetani that, let's read footnote 5. Perhaps nothing illustrates more the exculpatory nature and relevance of the undisclosed media file than Ms. Genduso's unhinged dream of brutally assaulting a person for whom she has animosity. Clearly, the text demonstrates her obvious bias against Mr. Kearney. That's an element of calling her as a witness and then asking her about her bias. Moreover, this deranged message was included in the extraction report provided to the defense, which means that the Commonwealth knew that Ms. Genduso and Ms. Gaetani had a strong motive to fabricate evidence rather than Mr. Kearney. Nevertheless, the Commonwealth shrugged its shoulders rather than make a good faith effort to comply with a specific demand under Brady and Rule 14. All right. Ms. Genduso reasoned to Ms. Gaetani that by you calling Mello and having potential information to help that case, and then putting you as a witness, that gives you the perfect thing to not have to worry about any of this because he'll be more scared that he is going to jail. Well, yeah, but the other thing is, I wonder if Leah knew that Lindsey talking to Mello would compromise the cases from the beginning. Wow. At all times since Ms. Gaetani provided her cell phone to the MSP in January of 2024, the Genduso audio recording was in the Commonwealth's possession, custody, and control. It was discoverable and favorable to Mr. Kearney's defense. The substance of the Genduso media file supports the defense contention that Mr. Kearney's enemies cajoled Ms. Gaetani into becoming a witness against him for the purposes of having him jailed. 6. Ms. Gaetani has also publicly accused Ms. Jen McCabe of pressuring her to become a witness against Mr. Kearney. Remarkably, the conspirators' plan actually worked. Within 2 weeks, Mr. Kearney was jailed for 60 days after Ms. Gaetani alleged that he committed witness intimidation during a now-dismissed incident on December 23, 2023, which was one day after she was served with a grand jury summons. The undisclosed media file is favorable to Mr. Kearney because considered alongside Ms. Genduso and Ms. Gaetani's messages, it demonstrates Ms. Gaetani's bias against Mr. Kearney. It provides a roadmap which exposes Ms. Gaetani's motive to falsely accuse Mr. Kearney, afforded legal protection by Mr. Mello and D.L. Tully as a witness against Mr. Kearney. Ms. Gaetani was incentivized by the Commonwealth to lie, fully aware that her weak and uncorroborated allegations would lead Mr. Mello to charge Mr. Kearney with witness intimidation, which likely would and did result in Mr. Kearney's incarceration. The combination of the Commonwealth's failures to disclose the Genduso media file, its substance, communications between Ms. Genduso, Ms. Peter, and Ms. Gaetani, and Ms. Gaetani's assertion that D.L. Tully tampered with the contents of her phone before the MSP disclosed an extraction report, demonstrates why Mr. Cosgrove, a civil defendant, cannot prosecute a case where Ms. Gaetani, the plaintiff suing him, and D.L. Tully, Mr. Cosgrove's co-defendant, are witnesses. In these circumstances, Ms. Gaetani will accuse D.L. Tully of egregious and criminal misconduct regarding his handling of the contents of her phone. He got that wrong. Oh no, I hope he didn't do this on purpose. The suit has nothing to do with her phone. Wow, swing and a miss there. D.L. Tully presumably will defend himself by accusing Ms. Gaetani of lying. What? Why would he do that? There's a factual record. Mr. Cosgrove, for his part, will be left in the untenable and hapless position of standing before the jury and refereeing an irreconcilable credibility dispute between his accuser and his co-defendant by defending Tully, which, in addition to being absurd, would be tantamount to him bolstering his own and D.L. Tully's credibility with impermissible unsworn testimony against his and D.L. Tully's civil accuser. Mr. Mello and the MSP relied heavily on I don't know if that makes a lot of sense, because I guess he has an incentive to make Tully look more credible than he is. That kind of makes sense. Mr. Mello and the MSP relied heavily on Ms. Peter as a source of information in their investigation of Mr. Kearney, even though they knew or should have known that her hatred of Mr. Kearney was so great that she had committed fraud and forgery to harm Mr. Kearney. It had something to do with like submitting a fake YouTube or like fake complaint to get a YouTube video taken down. I repeatedly notified Messrs. Cosgrove and Mello about the defense's concern regarding Ms. Peter's relationship with Mr. Mello and the MSP in a series of specific demands for any discoverable and or favorable evidence regarding her role in the investigation or her credibility in the Commonwealth's possession, custody, or control. The Commonwealth has failed to disclose some of this Peter-related evidence, made untimely disclosures of other evidence, and in certain instances failed to preserve evidence that has since been deleted on information and belief by Ms. Peter. On November 11th, 2025, Ms. Gaetani forwarded Mr. Kearney an email that Ms. Peter sent to Mr. Mello on February 12th, 2024, which Peter forwarded to Ms. Gaetani on February 22nd, 2024. In her email to Ken, Ms. Peter referenced a prior conversation with Mr. Mello and then essentially instructed him on how to fashion an argument to keep Mr. Kearney in custody. This email was discussed. What? Wait, what? Kate Peter was making legal arguments? This email was discoverable and has been in Mr. Mello's actual possession since February 14, 2024, but has never been disclosed to the defense. Ms. Peter apparently was so familiar with the investigators that in addition, what does this say? In addition to referring to Mr. Mello as Ken, she referred to Sergeant Yuri Buchanan as Yuri in her communications with him. Okay. The email was discussed on October 24, 2025, as part of a motion seeking an extension of time to respond to the defense motions. Mr. Cosgrove informed the defense that Mr. Mello had located certain material which he believes may be relevant to his response to the defense motions, which Mr. Mello mailed to Mr. Cosgrove on October 21st, 2025. Putting aside the questions of when and where Mr. Mello located these materials, almost 1 month later, the Commonwealth still hasn't provided any of these materials to the defense. Okay. The only reason the defense is aware of this communication is because Ms. Gaetani gave it to the defense. Yeah. Well, Kate got fucked. On or about November 11, 2025, the defense obtained 2 emails sent by Belmont Police Sergeant James Syracusa. Sergeant Syracusa is Mr. Proctor's brother-in-law. I knew that. On September 13, 2023, to Mr. Proctor's MSP email account. All right, what is this going to be about? The Syracusa emails relate to Mr. Kearney's criticism of Mr. Proctor. Sergeant Syracusa forwarded these emails to his brother-in-law, A, after Sergeant Buchanan emailed Mr. Proctor investigative reports about Mr. Kearney and saw Mr. Proctor's investigative feedback, 10. These discoverable reports were in the Commonwealth's actual possession since July, but have never been disclosed to the defense. And how do you know about them? And B, 10 days after an exasperated Mr. Proctor, in a group text with DA Michael Morrissey, Sergeant Buchanan, and others, disparaged Mr. Kearney and recommended that they just arrest him. Wow. The Syracusa emails are discoverable, and when was that? September of 2023, before Morrissey was recused. The Syracusa emails are discoverable and have been within the possession, custody, and control of the Commonwealth since September 2023. Nevertheless, they have not been disclosed to the defense. We only became aware of them when the DA released them as part of the public records production in a pending FOIA lawsuit. Yikes. On or about November 11, 2025, the defense became aware of a July 11, 2023 email Mr. Proctor sent to DL Tully and ADA Adam Lally. In that email, Mr. Proctor informed them that protests were planned to occur in the vicinity of his home, the DA's office, and the McCabe residence. The email was discoverable, has been in the Commonwealth's possession, custody, and control since July of 2023. It was never disclosed to the defense. The above referenced examples of the Commonwealth's failure to disclose exculpatory and discoverable evidence, combined with the litany of examples described in my prior affidavits, leaves little reason for the court to conclude that the Commonwealth has fully complied with its obligations under Brady, Giglio, and Rule 14. The Commonwealth's pervasive years-long failure to disclose specifically requested exculpatory and discoverable evidence, which has led to the destruction of some material evidence, has caused Mr. Kearney irredeemable harm and is so egregious, deliberate, and intentional that it gives rise to a presumption of prejudice. That means he's trying to get this dismissed. At a minimum, the factual allegations included in the supplemental affidavit present additional material questions of fact that the court should resolve in an evidentiary hearing before ruling on the pending defense motions. There you go. There you go, folks. That is a big deal. Oh, yes, the Miss Grant Smith Ellis account is not me. Well, we just read the whole Betterow affidavit, Troy, so if you want to scroll back about 30 minutes, you should do that. We do have to go back to the CCC meeting because they're still going, and I have to get caught up on that. But that Betterow affidavit is explosive, folks. It's explosive. Kate Peters' Discord probably is losing their mind. Oh, to be a fly on the wall in Kate Peters' Discord. Okay, let's do a towel poll. What is the mood in Kate Peters' Discord right now after this Betterow motion dropped? It's like a conflagration. It's chaos. I want to be a fly on the wall. Kate is clearly not a towel. All right, there you go. Take your votes.